Just keep it real. Big John Steel. Tell me how you feel. Convince me where the top go. Just keep it real. Big John Steel. Tell me how you feel. Convince me where the top go. Jesus is king. Big John Steel. Jesus is king. Big John Steel. Bro, you don't make any sense. Slow down a second, it's making you tense. When I be talking, just don't interrupt. I say the truth, you get salty for what? Give me an argument, not an assertion. I'm almost convinced that you're not a real person. Why are you galloping? What do you gish? Topic to topic, you flop like a fish. Say what you're meaning while being concise. Still got my taco, I ain't leaving Christ. Linda, just listen, get wrecked by a Christian. I think you might have a special condition. I debate all of you Muslim and atheists.
Yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo.
You still get defeated. You won't change my mind even if you repeat it. Just keep it real.
Real.
Tell me how you feel.
Convince me when a taco. Tell me how you feel.
Jesus is king. Jesus is king. Give me some logic, I just want to know.
Good morning, good morning.
Bro, I'm on a roll. You want to troll me, I'm shutting you down.
How is everybody doing today? Let's change this around a little bit.
Linda, I know you don't listen, let's end it. It's your own fault that you're stuck in your state. I just move on if you come in bad faith. Don't say that I mean, I say what I mean. I'm showing love, pull you away from the thief. You run away, you afraid or you weak. Bro, I don't play, I can make them retreat. You choose a deceit, ain't making me nervous. For those that
there we go.
Living my purpose.
There we go.
Money.
Test 1 2 test test. Big John Steel. Tell me how you feel. Convince me when a taco.
Just keep it real. Tell me how you feel. Convince me when a taco.
Jesus is king.
Wait, no.
Jesus is king.
What's he doing?
Oh,
great.
Yeah, he puked.
The one thing I asked him not to do when I fed him this morning, I said, hey, I'm going to feed you, Bert. Just do me one favor. Just one solid favor. Don't puke. What's he do? What's he do? He pukes. Bro pukes. How is everyone doing today? How's this sound? Is this echoey for everyone or is it just for me? Is it just for me? Or is this echoey for everyone? For some reason I'm hearing the whole room echo. Or is that just me? Abby being awesome and cleaning that up for me. Thank you, Abby. No echo, just me. Perfect. That's all I care about. If it's just for me, I don't know why all of a sudden today I'm getting an echo in the room, but I am. Maybe I just need to turn it down a little bit. I don't know. It is what it is. All right. How is everyone doing today? Hope everyone is having a good day today. Hope everyone's had a good weekend. Did you guys go check out that latest video I put out? I'm just curious. Did you go see it? Because if you didn't go see it, just me, yeah. Just me. That's all good. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like and subscribe or be ridden by Alzit. If I go see it, can I get a taco? Sure. Yeah, I get you a taco. New video is great, right? It's one of my best videos I've ever made. Do I ever think about Oh, bro, you're so edgy. You're so edgy and cool. It's so funny. Everybody's so edgy. A lot is wrong with me. Sure is. Am I going to have evidence for the stuff? I always got evidence, bro. Used to be atheist, now I'm Christian. Yeah, that's a fact. Wahali. Is that like Waluigi? Is that what that is? Why am I getting room echo all of a sudden? Bro. I'm just waiting for Abby and then we'll do a prayer and then we'll get started. Wait, John, am I on crack or should the chat be showing up on... No, should not be showing up yet. We haven't put it up yet. Do I think the Rapture is next month? No. How you doing, Live for Christ? It's good, man. It's good. It's good. Sent the first like. Thank you, bro. Make sure you're smashing the like, sharing the live, doing the things that you need to do to make sure we get out to the people that we need to get out to. Why am I hearing an echo? I'm so mad. Because it just, these problems go away and then all of a sudden they just come back. Back. It's not that kind of echo. It's room echo.
Look what I got for free in our box.
Donuts?
Yeah.
Why'd you get it for free? You steal it?
No, they gave me a voucher.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Rapture is on September 15th. Oh, we know that. We know that. No, that's not 2 hours because the feedback is because if I like hold on, if I go like this, then all of a sudden there's no echo. It's room echo. All of a sudden I have room echo. Hello. Hello. Is it the hallway? Hello. Might be the hallway. Oh, I forgot to turn that light on too. Hey, look, there's so many things John forgets to do. How do you entertain him?
Why?
Because I said so. I'm the man of this relationship.
It's Q&A time. Now they're all just looking at your butt.
Yep. Why don't it turn on?
Is it broken?
Yes. Can't afford a new one.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it worked. You just kicked it.
That fixes everything.
Why is John's bum so flat? Bro, that's a question I've been asking my whole life, bro. I don't have butt cheeks. I have back and legs. No butt cheeks. It's straight backs to straight legs, bro. Straight back to straight legs. That's just what happens. All right, let's do a prayer. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for the opportunity to do this live. Thank you for the ability to talk to people. I ask that you walk with us this day, be present, guide us to the people that need to be guided to. Allow the Holy Spirit to correct us when we act in a way that we shouldn't. Just be present with us, Lord. You are good in everything you do. I ask this in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. I've hit glutes. Amen. I've hit the glutes, bro. I hit the glutes, man. I've done it. It doesn't. This is my butt grown. No, Abby's just like spicy on the mic. Hold on, let me turn her down. Crushing my ears here.
I can turn it.
I got you.
Okay.
I got you. I got you. I got you. I might have to take Abby's mic back. I don't think I'm feeling this mic anymore. I don't think. But the problem is that mic doesn't. This mic doesn't fit on that stand. And so if I do that, then we got to give her the old weird stand back. Lord, touch some souls today. All right. All right.
Stand fast. Stand fast, Christians, believers, soldiers of the Most High. Steel your hearts, grip your weapons, fix your eyes on the enemy, for he stands before us now.
Let's
This
go.
is not the hour for fear. This is not the place for retreat. This is the field where legends rise or fall. A day may come when our shields are broken, when our blades run red, when our bodies are cast to the dust. But it is not this day. A day may come when evil marches unchecked, when the enemy believes we are scattered and weak. But it is not this day. This day, we make war. We strike with holy fury, with fire in our lungs and steel in our hands. We charge with the roar of heaven behind us and the wrath of righteousness before us. Let them hear the thunder of our boots. Let them see the fire in our eyes. For we are not merely men. We are the army of the living God. Raise your swords, warriors. Raise your shields, defenders of the faith. Today we don't run. We ride. We clash. We conquer. We bring the storm. We bring the reckoning. We bring the war to their gates. By the blood of the Lamb and the power of his name, we will not fall. We will not fall. Now fight, fight for glory, for honor, for the King will not fall.
All right, guys. Today we are doing No Good Reason to Be Muslim, No Good Reason to Be Atheist, Prove Me Wrong, Win a Taco. You can join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10. Password 1234 cinco seis. That's a 5. I got a random phone call this morning. Pee me off, bro. Pee me off. Just all of a sudden out of the blue, just from Shoppers Drug Mart, all places. I called them back. I'm like, why'd you guys call me? Like, we didn't call you. It's like, what the hell? was like, what the hell, man? What the hell? So, all right. There's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Join at tinyurl.com/Big John Seal 10. Abby, I'm opening the floodgates.
Okay.
Open
Did
the
you
gates.
click the link?
I clicked the thing.
Okay.
I just did it. Stop yelling at me. Oh, now I know why you're so much louder. It's because I turned your compression up. I forgot about that.
Gates are open.
Gates are open. Gates are open. Gates are open. Put some creamer in that coffee? Heck no, bro. Why would you ruin a perfectly good coffee with like cow juice? Like, why would you do that? Perfectly good coffee made from a perfectly fine bean, tastes delicious, and you're like, you know what this needs? You know what? You know how I want to drink my coffee? I want to put cow juice in it. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? You need to reflect on your life and realize like you made some poor decisions to be where you are nowadays. Let me guess, you're gonna put sugar in it now? You're gonna put sugar in it? I swear to God, if you put oat milk in it, you lose your man card. You don't get to have a man card if you put oat milk in your coffee. I'm just saying. I'm just saying you don't get to do it. What do I got to get? I like milk. Milk's fine. It's not for coffee. Coffee is for coffee. If you can't drink your coffee black, what are you?
Weak.
Weak. Small. Puny.
Even I drink my coffee black.
Exactly. Small, puny, weak little gods. That's what you are. All right, guys. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco. You could join at tinyurl.com/Big John Steele 10. Password 12345. Goat milk is better. Ugh.
Gross.
You ever try goat cheese? You ever try goat cheese, bro? It's crazy. It's crazy. Who's gonna say goat milk is better? Who? You guys are on drugs, if anything. Real men just chew their coffee beans, based. Based, super based, bro. Just straight off the plant. I don't even know how coffee's grown. Let's see if TikTok works when taking a guess. If it doesn't, we won't use TikTok.
Can you hear me?
Dude, everybody could hear you. The whole world could hear you. Because you were inside a wind tunnel. And that wind tunnel was inside a wind tunnel. And you threw those wind tunnels out of a plane. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm 38, actually today.
All right, just 2 seconds. All right, man. Yeah, no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
I got a question for you. Have you ever left this country?
Yes.
Where have you been?
None of your business.
Well, it is kind of the business when it's part of the conversation. Have
Well,
you ever
you need
been
to make an
around
argument for
Muslims?
that. What country am I in right now?
I'm assuming America, since you're here talking about this shit.
Yeah, I'm not American.
Okay, so you're just here rage baiting like a motherfucker?
Yeah. You seem pretty raged,
Yeah.
so it worked.
I'm actually not raged. I'm just enjoying your stupidity.
Okay.
All right, whatever you say there, Linda.
Linda. Ha 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 ha. So anyway, where are you from?
None of your business.
Why are you scared to tell me?
Do you got an actual argument, or are you just up here to
I
like
do,
ask me
but
out on
I'm
a
also
date?
having a
Are you
conversation.
asking me my age SL? Like, cause I'm taken, bro. I'm married, but
No, I'm
listen,
trying to
you're
have a
cute.
legitimate.
You're cute.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You're not trying to have a legitimate conversation by any means. There's no part of you that's trying to have a legitimate conversation.
That was weird.
Hello, how are you? Just real
Hello.
quick, how old are you?
I'm 19.
All right, bro. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco. Go ahead.
Yeah, are you Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Okay, so the Bible prophesies about the fifth kingdom of God, which was
Bro, I can't
established by the
make
prophets of
you,
Allah. So,
bro. I can't make you out because it sounds like you're putting the mic inside your mouth. I'm not sure what's going on.
okay, so the Bible prophesies about the fifth kingdom of God, which would be established by God, and how is established by God through the prophets of Allah.
Yeah. And when did it say it would happen?
It says
Because
it
you're
will
talking
happen
about David, right?
after they destroy the fourth kingdom.
Yeah. But when did it say that kingdom would be established?
Yeah, after they destroy the fourth kingdom,
Bro,
in
you
the
gotta
days of those
stop
kings.
mumbling, bro. When did it say that it
No.
would be established?
Yeah, in the days of the two kings.
No, it said it'd be established before the destruction of the second temple.
Okay, so you're lying on Daniel 2, verse 41 to 44.
Yeah, I'm not lying, bro.
Can you read it for me, please?
Why don't you read it?
Alright, okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, here, and in the Daniel 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom
Mm-hmm.
which shall never be destroyed.
What? What did you say?
Yeah, it says in the days of these kings, God will establish his kingdom.
I can't make you out, bro.
What do you mean?
I can't understand what you're saying. You keep mumbling.
Okay, so it says in the days of these kings, God will establish his kingdom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which is Daniel 2, verse 44.
Yeah, so?
I
You're just
thought you
saying what it
disagreed with me.
says.
You'd say that no, it's going to be after the destruction of the second temple.
No, before the destruction of the second temple.
Okay, so these kings, who are these kings?
These would be the kings of Rome.
Wait, so when did Rome got divided?
When did it get divided? I don't know the exact year. So how is it
Okay,
Muhammad if the
yeah,
temple was destroyed? Because it's supposed to again
I'm
happen
gonna
before
tell,
the temple is destroyed.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you now. So the Roman Empire, I mean the Rome divided into two. I mean, they had two kings. That happened in 365 AD. So that could not be during the
Why aren't you
destruction of the
answering the
temple.
question about the temple?
Because the temple has nothing to do with this. You're being wrong here. Can you say that you're wrong?
How am I being wrong? If the oh my god, I can't deal with these low level
Oh,
IQ arguments. Literally says that the temple will still be there, and then the temple will be destroyed, and you're just not addressing that question, and you're just reading the verse and not making any argument. All right, guys. tinyurl.com/Big John Steel 10, password 12345 if you want to join the conversation. What is that noise? Did you hear that?
Yeah, it sounded like you were clicking on something you're not supposed to click on.
It did.
It didn't come from you?
Nope, I don't think so.
Weird.
Sounds like a Windows error. It did, yeah. All right, guys. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco. Join at tinyurl.com/Big John Steel 10. If we get no guests today, I'm calling it a day. Just a fair warning. So share the live, smash the like button, do those things that you need to do. Yeah.
Is it an American holiday?
No, it's a Canadian holiday.
No, it's not.
It is.
What's the holiday?
I forget what it's called.
What? We don't have one till the end of August.
Oh, I see touching your mic. What does that sound? Do you hear that?
What?
It's like sound like somebody's.
Oh, sometimes when I touch the desk, you can hear it in the mic.
Yeah, stop touching the desk.
Why can't it hear that though?
Because the mic's sensitive.
That's wild.
Hold on, I was looking something up.
Moose Day in Canada. It's not a Canadian holiday, babe.
Alright guys, smash the like button, share the live, do what you need to do. Oh, this guy again. Oh, I guess he didn't want to join. Hold on, I was trying to find something about that Daniel thing. Oh yeah, the cloud riding thing, the prediction of the temple. The divine origin. Kingdom would not be of this world. Yeah, okay. Today is National Bad Poetry Day, aka the Quran Day. Guys, smash the like button, share the live. If we get no guests, we're calling it a day. We need guests. We need guests. I can understand the first 5 words. I could not understand a word he was saying. Okay. What's going on with your mic?
Me?
Yeah, I can hear like every shuffle you do.
I know.
Every move, every shuffle, every sneeze.
Every move you make.
I don't know.
I'll be watching you.
I don't know if he was going through a voice changer. Is my guest thing working?
What do you mean?
Oh. Yeah, that's working. This is like the most unchristian live I've ever seen. What's unchristian about it?
We haven't even done anything yet.
I'm literally just sitting here waiting for a guest. Bro, you can't win with these people. You just sit here and they're just like, you're like, there's no hate like Christian love as you're just sitting there. How do I feel about failed prophecy in Ezekiel 30, 10 through 12? It's probably not a failed prophecy. Also, you have to define what prophecy is. There's a whole bunch of problems with like interpretations of what prophecy is. Just start debating the comments. I am. Offer shawarma prize to the momos. Ugh. Why should I be a Christian? Because it's true. Reasons to be Muslim or Christian or whatever are all the same or as good. Well, come up and let's have a conversation about it. Big John Steel 10, password 12345. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm Riley Grievebeaster, and I'm 32. We've talked before.
I don't. I talk to a lot of people, man. I don't remember. All right. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong when a taco. And you also got I think you got me playing in the background.
I have what in the background?
Do you have me playing in the background?
I don't think so. I have headphones in.
Okay. All right, man. Go ahead.
All I was wanted to say is you should be humble when you call yourself a Christian, not...
Eat my underwear. Okay.
Gross.
He doesn't actually want a conversation, though. He wants to win. Come up and let's have a conversation about it. Let's see who is the one who's in good faith. Let's find out. Come on up. You can join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10, password 12345.
Look, it's Brian.
Where?
Let's go.
Hi, Brian.
Yo, what's up, dude?
Hello.
Oh, I just wanted to say it's
Listen, guys, if you don't got the respect to turn off a bunch of background noise before you come up, don't come up. Don't come up. If you're going to come up listening to at a rave or whatever it is, like, just don't come up. Bro, so far, what we've had is people eating their mic, being at a rave. Anyways, where was Brian? Oh, there he is. What's up, Brian? That's the homie. That's the homie right there. What's up, dude? How you doing? Are these people on massive side of this? I don't know, bro. I don't know. We're called to be loving a bit. We're called to be loving but to be loving, we can't always be nice. This is true. Bro, it's Monday morning. How are y'all partying at this time? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm a Norse pagan. I want to have a conversation. Join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10, password 12345. If you want to have a conversation. Come on. Come on up. This dude won't read anything. He can't argue. You don't have user 3513004171578 who don't even put their profile picture or their name up there, who talks crap in the chat. You can join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10, password 12345 if you want to have a conversation. Who is you? Just some random guy on the internet? Extended weekend parties. They're just still going. They're still going. Yeah, it's never, if you never stop partying, it's never too early. It's true.
Could not be me.
We'll take anyone at this point. Anybody who's not having a rave in the background would be great. That would be great. Again, guys, smash the like button, share the live. Let's get this out to the people we need to get out to. Why did Leviticus 19:28 say no man or woman can get piercings? It didn't. I don't even know what that verse is, but there is no verse that says you can't get a piercing. If we can get everyone on this chat to like the live, we could boost it. Yep, you absolutely can. So everybody should have smashed the like button by now. Someone help me, please, with what? God is like believing in Santa or the Easter Bunny. Well, come up and let's have a conversation about it. tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10, password 12345. Come up and have a conversation. John is a party pooper. Amen. Hallelujah. I'll be loving, but I'll do it in an emotional and sympathetically detached way. I don't know any other. Do only wear one type of clothes? No. I like right now I have 3 pieces of clothing on, 4 if you include my slippers. I'd debate John, but he'd run probably. Sounds like a Jehovah's Witness superstition. Me? Why you gotta go to redirect link to talk? Because that's how guests come in. If God, why dinosaurs? Why do dinosaurs contradict God? Why? I want my taco? Bro, you just came up and said I wasn't humble. How does that win you a taco? Oh, we got a guest. Let's bring him in. Zoroastrianism. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Yeah, how old are you? All right, let me bring you in. All right. There's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
Was that the question? I was just going to ask.
Yeah, I'm not... Why do you guys call up if you're moving around and chopping wood and being like, oh, what is your question? What did you want to talk about? I don't know. Bro, listen, I'd rather not talk to anybody if you're not going to come up and respect the live. And at least, like, be willing to, like, sit down and have a proper conversation.
Kai Burr says that he'd debate you, but on who would beat Darth Vader in a fight. Maybe that's what you should do today.
Who would beat Darth Vader in a fight?
Just take...
There's a lot of people who beat Darth Vader
take
in a
friends
fight.
and questions.
Yeah, bro's building a house. Man was making Noah's Ark while calling in. All right, let's try again. right, you didn't connect your mic this time, bro. Bro, I don't see these issues on other people's lives. Like, especially like atheist lives. I watch a lot of atheist lives, man. People join up, they're ready to go. They got their camera set up. They're like we don't allow cameras, but they're sitting there, they're ready for a good proper conversation, man. I get the crackheads. That's what I get. Modern Brain came in with $5. Says for John's wardrobe. Thank you very much, sir. Hello, sir. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm 29.
All right, bro. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco. Go ahead.
Okay, am I echoing?
Not for me.
Yeah. I guess it's coming back into the mic from yours. Does nobody hear an echo in the chat?
How's that?
Yeah, that's better. You fixed it.
Okay. All right, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so real quick, you are Christian, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just say this: the Gospels, which a lot of Christians sit on and rely on, what if I told you they don't have enough evidence? Oh, they can't hear me now.
Oh my God. Can you call in
Check
on the
1,
link?
2. Is it a YouTube link?
Right, the one above my head. tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10.
And you want me to just call on a Google? Oh, you can hear me now. It's echoing, but I'll deal with it, man.
Okay, if you deal with it.
But yeah, so referring to the Gospels, historians say, like, for an example, Matthew didn't even write the book of Matthew, and Matthew's supposed to be an eyewitness. So
And how do
does
they
that
know that
happen?
Matthew didn't write Matthew?
Just like historians, a lot of historians will say
Which historian?
Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Well, Mark and Matthew, their story matches a lot.
Which historian says that it's not from Matthew?
I'd have to look it up. It's pretty.
Okay, so
good
how do
historian stuff.
they know that it's not from Matthew?
I think it was an age thing, like when Matthew had. I'm sorry, the echo is killing me.
Yeah. Try the link, man. All right, we're not taking any callers on TikTok until we get that fixed, and I'm not working on it today, so I'll work it on another day. If you guys want to join, it's tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10, password 12345. Zoroastrianism. Hello? Are you... no one can, no one can hear you, right? I haven't brought you in yet. God bless. All right, guys, if you want to join the conversation, there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. You can join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10, password 12345. Link is also, if you're watching on YouTube, it's pinned, right? So it's right there if you want to see it. It's in the description if you just want to click it. And if you're watching on the other YouTube, it should just be pinned in the comment section as well. So yes, there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Again, join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10, password 12345. Let's bring in a guest. Bro, go away. Anonymous. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Oh my God.
No children.
Mike, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Mike? Michael? Mike Areno? Mike Vision? Okay, God bless. All right, guys. I think we might just call it a day. We might just end this live today. This is wild. We might stop doing Mondays. Mondays are always awful for some reason. Mike ain't got no mic. We might switch it up to a weekend or something. Instead of doing Monday, we do like Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Although I really like my weekends off. That's the thing. That's the problem. That's the problem. All right, guys, if you want to join, actually, I'm going to turn off the guest button. How do I turn off guests on TikTok?
Could you do like one evening live a week?
We could probably do that Friday night.
Friday night, because you can sleep.
You can do an evening live on Friday.
That doesn't help you on Monday, so.
No. But we could do Friday evening because we're not at work on Friday.
I know, but I'm trying to fix so you don't have to do it on Saturdays.
True.
The weekend.
True. Let's bring in a guest. Bro, stop coming up. I'm not going to talk to you. Beaver, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? All right, man, let me bring you in. All right. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
But why do I need a good reason to be atheist? Like, how can I stop being atheist?
So what is your good reason to be an atheist?
It's just because I have no religion, it's just what I am.
Yeah, you're making a positive claim that there is no God, right?
I mean, he can prove himself to me anytime.
Sure, but you're still making a positive claim that there is no God, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your argument for that?
Well, I mean, so is the God we're talking about all loving?
I'm just talking about the idea of God in general. It doesn't have to be the all-loving version of God.
All right, well, if it's not the all-loving, then there's a much higher chance of God existing. But if it is the high-loving,
that's not an argument for atheism. What's your argument for atheism?
Well, okay, what's a religion that believes in a God that's not all-loving?
It's completely irrelevant.
Well, no, because that's why I'm atheist then. I'm explaining to you why.
Okay. Do you think there are no aliens?
Aliens?
Yeah.
I guess not. Because
you think there are no aliens? They just do not exist.
I don't think there are. I mean that depends what the definition of aliens are. If a single bacterium on Mars counts as an alien, it's like I guess. But are you talking about aliens how we portray them in media, or are you talking about
just
aliens?
life outside or outside of Earth?
Oh well, then yes, life outside of Earth. It's true. Well, yeah, because like there's. The first building blocks for life, they're out there. They just haven't gotten to what happened on Earth.
Okay, so you think there's life outside of Earth?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
Because there's water and there's all the different stuff that they need out there to actually form.
But have you ever seen life outside Earth?
Well, no, because I've never been outside Earth. Like,
okay, so
it's impossible.
So then why do you believe in life outside Earth? Why don't you take the atheist position for aliens? Why aren't you alienist?
Well, like I said, my belief is dependent on the definition of God, just like how my belief on
so if your belief is dependent on the definition of God, you're not an atheist, are you? You're agnostic.
No, because agnostic says they don't know, but I do know, and I'm trying to explain.
Okay, well, if you do know, give me the argument for atheism.
Right. So again, right, I was gonna do that, but you didn't answer. Is the God we're talking about all loving?
Doesn't matter.
What do you mean it
Because
doesn't
that's not an
matter? Like,
argument for atheism, is it? That's an argument against a
I need to
specific.
clarify.
That's an argument. That's an argument against a specific type of God, right? That'd be an argument against an all-loving God, right? That wouldn't be an argument for atheism.
Oh, okay. Well, no, because atheism is saying that there is no God, but I'm trying to explain why I don't think the all-loving God exists.
Right. So there could be a God that's not all-loving, right?
Sure.
Okay, so then that's not atheism, is it?
Okay, so then what? Okay, but I'm still not like any of these religions.
Oh, okay, but that just proves my point. There's no good reason to be atheist.
You say good reason, and like, why does something have to have a like? There's no good reason to believe in some stuff, but that's just because it's true, and it doesn't need any benefit. Like,
so you say it's axiomatic. You're saying
4. There's no good reason to do that.
So you're saying it's an axiom that there is no God?
Axiom?
Yeah, that's what 2 + 2 = 4, right? We believe it because it's axiomatic. It's just evidently true.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying it's evidently true there is no God?
What? No. I was saying for the good reason part that it just doesn't make any. It's like, so what if there's no good reason? Like a good reason is subjective. That's stupid. It is stupid to say, oh, there's no good reason for this, and
no, it's not. It's not subjective. If you like, for example, bring it in philosophy, it could be logically sound and coherent, right? So it's not just a subjective thing. For example, if somebody said that I'm a unicorn because I like being a unicorn, I would say that's a bad reason to think you're a unicorn.
Okay, but so what good reason are you looking for? And also, why do I even need to provide one anyways?
Because you're making a positive claim.
Are you making a positive claim?
I haven't made any claim.
Okay. Well, for a positive claim, I don't have to give you a good reason to why I'm making it. I just have to prove it, which obviously,
I don't have to give you a good reason, but I have to prove it? That's giving me a good reason.
That's what a positive claim is. It's where the burden of proof is on the person making it, not that they need a good reason to make it in the first place. That's what it is. Yes or no?
No.
Okay, then what is it then?
So you contradicted yourself. You're saying, I don't need a good reason, but I need to prove it. If you prove it, that's a good reason.
Well, no, but it's impossible to prove it. That's why it's like, I can't.
Why is it impossible to prove it?
How am I supposed to transcend time and space to see if there's a God or not? Like, I'm just a human.
All right, man. This is going nowhere, but I appreciate your time. God bless.
Well, yeah, because you won't just answer if it's all loving or not. Like,
Could a not all-loving God exist?
Mattis Step came in with $5, says, hey, Big John Steele, I really liked your new video. I posted it to my Facebook wall. I had a similar experience where God came to me and slapped me. That's awesome, bro. Thank you so much. And also, guys, please go watch my latest video on YouTube. Jesus Christ came in with $5, says, Christ is Lord. That is an objective claim. Super based. Super based. All right, let's bring in the next guest. Guys, if you want to join, it's tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteele10, password 12345. Jack, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Yeah, let me bring you in. All right, man. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
I don't actually want to prove you wrong. I'm a Christian. I've got a question for you real quick, if that's okay.
What is it?
What's your thoughts on being an entrepreneur and actually not pursuing money, but like having large financial goals and still being a Christian at the same time?
So the reason why you're doing it.
Obviously, like to be just financially free and take care of my family and friends.
Yeah, so if you just gathering it in sin, right? Because you want the money and you want to hoard it and keep it to yourself, and that's sinful. And like Jesus says, it's like a camel trying to walk through the eye of a needle for a rich man to get into heaven, because you're just going to walk and follow this specific goal rather than what Jesus has put you on earth. But if you have the finances to A, take care of your family, and then B, be charitable to the point where your left hand doesn't know what your right hand is doing, and use it to build the kingdom, then no, it's not sinful.
Thank you so much, brother. Amazing show. Keep on doing what you're doing, okay? Blessings.
All right, man. God bless. Mike, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? I can hear you. Let me bring you in. All right, man.
Mike.
No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco. Go ahead.
Perfect. Okay, so I am not atheist. I am agnostic. I do not see the book, the Bible, or Christianity as having enough evidence for me to truly put my life into it. I do not believe in God, Jesus, all that. I believe there might be a higher power, but I do not believe in the Christianity story itself.
Okay, so you agree there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist?
I am one of those people who believe that you can devote your life to whatever the bloody hell you want. You know what I mean? That's kind of everybody's tree.
All right, so the topic today, though, is there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. What are those good reasons to be those things? If you want to concede that there's no good reason for those things, then I'm more than happy to defend Christianity.
I believe, I don't know too much about Muslim, but I do know about atheism. And atheism, I feel like the reasoning a lot of people gravitate to that is one, I feel like a lot of people don't know what the bloody hell agnostic is these days. And second, atheism is this kind of, well, I don't really believe in this and I don't believe in that, so I'm going to go to atheism immediately. You know what I mean?
So is that a good reason to believe something?
Yes.
You think it's a good reason to just believe something because you don't believe another thing?
If they look around look around the world and say, I don't believe this is correct, I don't believe any of these are correct, I hate the people who are atheists who are like, oh, it's science, but that's a good reason, quote unquote, that they're atheist.
Okay. So if I don't think that 2 + 2 = 5, is that a good reason to believe it's 6?
You can have the reasoning, and then you can be fucking immediately like, okay, well, no, here's the reasoning it is. That's
can you answer the question? Is that a good reason to believe it's 6?
That is a good reason to believe it's 6, because there's no. Well, what's the reason that you believe it's 6?
Because I don't believe it's 5.
You don't believe it's 4.
No, I don't believe it's 5.
Okay, so your reasoning that 2 + 2 = what?
6.
Okay. I don't think that's a reason, but 2 + 2 = 6. Sure, people are ignorant. People are stupid.
So is it a good reason to believe that 2 + 2 = 6 is because you don't believe = 5?
Yes, you're catching me off guard by saying because it doesn't equal 5, but
I know it doesn't equal 5. So if I don't believe that 2 + 2 = 5, is that a good reason for me to believe it = 6?
Yes. I had to fucking think of that. It's early in the morning.
I can't do that. Moving on, bro. That's a good reason to believe that 2 + 2 = 6, guys. Got it. All right. Yeah, definitely not bringing you up. Ryan, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? All right, man, let me bring you in. All right, no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco, go ahead.
I can't speak to being Muslim. I have really no experience with that at all. In terms of atheism, I would say a reason to be atheist, not whether or not it is necessarily right or wrong, but a reason to be atheist is that there is a lack of verifiable evidence in terms of a scientific stance.
Huh?
there is no actual direct evidence to say that there is in fact one religion is correct over the other, or that religion is, or like a God exists. There is a lack of actual fundamental evidence to prove that there is. So I would say it is a good reason to question and therefore be atheist. Not necessarily to stay in that position, but to I don't know an answer because I don't have the evidence for it, kind of deal.
Okay, so do you think there are no aliens?
I think that there is a statistical chance for there to be aliens, but I don't have any evidence for aliens. So no, I can't say verifiably that there are.
I'm not saying are they. I'm saying are you making the claim that there are no aliens?
I am saying that I don't have the evidence to claim that there is a alien or no alien life out there. No.
That's not what I'm asking you. Can you make the claim that there are no aliens?
I cannot make that claim, no.
Right, so why would you make the same thing with a God?
Because you're asking me if there's a good reason to be atheist. I'm saying that there is no evidence to state that there is a God.
Okay.
And therefore,
is there good evidence to say there is aliens?
It's the same argument. Like my point on this is going to be the same.
Right, but you're saying what atheist is the claim that there is no God, right?
It is the claim that there is no God, and I would say that. Okay, let's put it this way. Let's say somebody stands in front of you. You can't really argue that that person doesn't exist, or you can't argue that they do exist. They are there. Like, I guess you could argue that they do exist in that sense. Like, they are there. They're standing in front of you. They're physical. There's evidence that that person exists. If you remove that person, you can put them in another room. They might still exist, but if I've never seen that person, I don't know if they exist or not. I can't tell you that they're existing. So it would be reasonable. It would be a good reason for me to, from that interaction or from that lack of evidence, to believe that there might not be somebody.
Yeah, might not
believe
be.
that there is any.
Might not. That's agnostic. Saying I don't know is agnostic. Saying I don't know is agnostic. I'm perfectly fine with that. Saying atheist is there is no God, or I do not believe there is a God, right? If I ask you the same thing about aliens, you'd say I don't know if there's aliens. I haven't been given evidence either one way or the other.
Fair. That is fair. However, I would state that in a world in which that we are very evidence-based, and I would say that's very important to be evidence-based, a conclusion could be drawn that there is no God. There's nothing that's been evidently proven to me that there is.
Are there no aliens?
I think we're going to have to just disagree on this one, my guy.
But you're not answering the question. You're just saying I disagree.
Are there no aliens? The same question. I did.
But you're not answering it, right? So you're saying
I don't have the evidence.
Here's what you're saying. You're saying that I haven't seen any evidence for God, so therefore there is no God. Well, I ask you the same question about aliens, but you won't say the same thing about aliens. You'd say I don't know if there's aliens.
All right, you got me, my guy. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, God bless. Mm-hmm. All right, let's bring in the next guest. Guys, please make sure you're smashing the like button, sharing the live, doing what you need to do so we can talk to the people who we need to talk to. I don't think he's being honest. I think he just wanted to move on. So he's like, here's your W, and I'm just leaving. To join the conversation, it's tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10, password 12345. Let's bring in another guest. Huck Shin. Hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Awesome, thank you. All right, let me bring you in. All right, man, no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong when to taco. Go ahead.
So I agree with the first prompt. The second prompt, I would say that I partially agree. Are you saying that that's a universal statement or like applied to just specific ones? Because I would say that I'm not universally an atheist. Like there's some religions that I'm not totally sure about, but other ones that I would specifically say there's too many contradictions or, I don't know, propositions that violate the laws of logic that are dogmatic in those religions.
Okay, so you agree there's no good reason to be Muslim or atheist?
No, I think that there's good reason to be atheist. Like I'm atheistic towards some gods, but I'm not sure about others, but
Right. So that's not the definition of atheism. Atheism, according to Philosophy Stack Exchange, or sorry, it's Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, is the claim that there is no God, not specific types of God. So, that's like saying an anarchist is against specific types of government. No, an anarchist is against government.
I'll still be down to run the argument.
Okay, so your argument is against any God.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So I would say, is there any definitions that you like to go with, or are we just defining these words for ourselves?
Yeah, so I just say this being would just be have the maximal properties, whatever that may be.
Okay. So like the triomnies, but more in a
doesn't
maximal
have to be omni, right? It just has to be just has to have the max great making properties for us to call it God.
Can you expand upon those a little bit?
So
triomni God. Sorry.
It'd be like all powerful, but how we define all power could vary, right? All powerful could be doing anything that is conceivable, but it could also just be doing with anything within the realms of power.
Okay, and that's the only property that we've defined so far for
I'm just saying all powerful could be an example of it, but I'm just saying has the maximal amount of great making properties. I'm just saying it'd be the greatest possible being.
Okay. Yeah, I would say, do you want to run I would just say that there's no good reason to believe that thing exists. So then, since there's no good reason to, I would take the null hypothesis, like you would take a stats class, you fail to reject the null. And that's kind of like a position I feel like I'm in right now. Like I failed to reject the null hypothesis that P is false.
So you take an agnostic stance.
No, that would be, I think that it's not true. Like if there's a new proposition, I would say that proposition's not true.
So this wouldn't be a new proposition. This is just a maximally great being. You have to believe that something we came from somewhere or either eternal, and I can just reject those because we have no reason to believe that either.
I would think that we're eternal based off of, what is it, the first and second law of thermodynamics? Matter can neither be created nor destroyed, and same thing with energy. So if that's true, then necessarily the matter has eternally existed.
Yeah, except there's logical problems with that. So there's a problem with like infinite regress. That'd be one issue. But even if you go like some sort of circular hypothesis time or some B theory of time, then you have the problem of the totality of contingent things.
What do you think's the issue with the infinite regress problem? Can you expand upon that?
Yeah, so if there's an infinite amount of people between me and you, and I slap one guy in the face and ask him to slap the next guy in the face, how long before you get slapped in the face?
Sounds like I'm pretty good there. But I would also say that there's a paradox happening here. Like the problem with what is it? Like if you shoot an arrow and you're aiming at the target, it has to cross at least half the distance to the target.
Yeah, that's potential. That's potential infinite. It's not actualized infinite.
Can you expand upon the difference between those?
Yeah, it has a potential for infinity, not an actualized infinity. So, for example, we have a potential infinite future, right? We can keep going into the future for infinity. That there's no logical contradiction there. It doesn't create any paradoxes. But an actualized infinite, something that exists metaphysically, creates paradoxes.
I would say that the distance thing, like the distance is something that's instantiated currently. Like
that's a potential.
Exists right now.
It's a potential because it's the measurements that you're putting in there.
So you're saying because I'm constructing things that are like measurements, like inches and stuff, those constructions you're saying are potential?
Yeah, you're putting arbitrary measurements on there. This is a potential infinite.
Is time? I mean, time itself is seconds are also arbitrary measurements, so that would also apply to the past as well.
No, because time is just a measurement of objects in motion. So we have to say there's an infinite amount of objects in motion in the past. Just 1 second, please.
Good morning, beautiful people.
Oh, thank you, Mitchell. Appreciate you, bro. I was just a super chat. People pay a certain amount. It just speaks. It just said, "Good morning, beautiful people." Go ahead, man.
Okay, I couldn't hear because I got the YouTube muted too. But yeah, I think that in the same way that I can walk forward and cross the distance with the infinite amount of subsections, the same way time marches on and
again, the subsections are abstract, right? The metaphysical thing that actually exists is there. Like the distance is actually there. The
Well-
measurements are abstracts. When we're talking about the time going in the
I agree
past, the
with
amount
that,
of
yeah.
seconds, this is an abstract. But what I'm talking about is objects in motion.
I would say objects in motion, what we define as objects are also abstract concepts that we apply to the world.
No. It has form and matter, so therefore it's not an abstract.
Let me think about that for a second. Because I agree with what you just said right there. I'm trying to parse what exactly the paradox would be here, or the contradiction rather. I guess I don't understand completely what you mean that, like, why would, like,
So
the
I'll
thing
explain.
that I'm
I'll explain
explaining
why
with
the
distance-
distance. I'll explain why the distance is a
Yeah.
potential, right? So there's the metaphysical thing that actually exists between us, the ground,
Yeah,
whatever
the
it may
actual
be.
things.
The
Yeah.
measurements are potentials. I have the potential to measure in centimeters. I have the potential to measure in inches. I have the potential to measure in whiplographs, whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
That's potentials, because I can arbitrarily and ad hoc introduce new things or remove new things. So I have the potential to use it or potential not to use it. That's what makes it a potential instead of actualized.
But the abstract concept that I'm talking about here, are they're describing real things. I'm not saying that an inch is real, but I'm saying that an inch is a measure of distance, and distance is real. Do you agree that distance is a real thing?
Yeah, the distance between me and my wife right now is metaphysically true and solid. The way I measure that is the potential. Right? The distance between me and her is never going to change. The
Yeah,
measurements
and I'm
between
saying-
that is the potential.
And I'm saying that the distance between you and your wife, for example, you have to cross half of it to cross the full distance.
Half is the arbitrary potential.
Yes. I don't see
Right.
what the issue is here.
Right? That's
So,
a
it's not
yeah, but you
arbitrary
just
potential.
admitted it's a potential.
Well, let me. Sorry, I was
There's
just.
no
I think
there's
it's
no
out of
logical
habit
problem with
to-
potential infinites.
In my mind, these are similar things. I'll definitely have to look this up a little bit further. But I still think that my main argument holds true, and that if the first and second law of thermodynamics are true, then energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
No, you're
and neither
just
can matter.
ignoring everything I said and just jumping back to your
I
original
can see
argument as
those-
if you're right.
Yeah, I can see those points, and I think that there's a problem with saying that infinity exists. But wouldn't that mean that your argument right here contradicts the first and second laws of thermodynamics?
Well, there's this old trope that scientists say that that scientists can't grant any miracle except for one, and this would be the Big Bang.
I completely. I mean, in colloquial sense, I would say, you could say it's a miracle, but
But also, here's the issue too: is saying like it breaks the law of thermodynamics. The laws of nature are not prescriptive; they're descriptive, right? They operate in the way we understand it until we understand it in a different way. So, for example, there's no reason quantum entanglement should work based off our current understanding of the laws of physics, yet it does, and it works insanely well. So that means we had to go back and rewrite how we understood things. So yeah, if God is real, there's no issue in believing that He created energy.
I would agree with that. But I also think that it might be a category error with like your slapping example. Like as soon as we instantiate a point upon the finite, or a finite point along an infinite line, and we're not talking about
the
same
slapping
thing.
example is not substantiating a point, because the slapping is something that's metaphysical. That's why using something that is tangible and real, right? How many slaps does it take for you to get slapped? That's not arbitrary.
I agree that it's not arbitrary, because you're looking for a specific determined number there. But I'm saying like as soon as you instantiate a point on an infinite line, we can still then calculate how many people is like in between.
Yeah,
Like
you
if
can
there's,
calculate how many people's in between, but what I'm saying is if there's an infinite amount of objects in motion behind us, right? How many things had to move before we started moving?
Well, infinity isn't actually like a real number.
Like if I just have a line, like if let's just imagine a graph with an x and y axis, for example, and we've got a line going horizontally across one perfectly. You could say, hey, a guy slapped you at point minus x minus 5, and I'm at point 0. Then I know that it's going to take, if there's a person at every point, it's going to take 5
Right.
people to slap me. Right?
That's completely irrelevant to what I'm saying. Is if you're saying that the universe is eternal and is an infinite amount of chain of time behind us, that means we have an infinite amount of objects in motion behind us. It means there's an infinite amount of potentiality behind us. So how many things had to move before you moved? Right? It creates a paradox. This is the Grim Reaper's paradox.
So then what's your solution here?
Well, that we don't have an infinite universe or eternal universe, but even if you want to grant like a B theory of time, right, and say that time doesn't exist in a linear chain, then you still have to answer the explanation of the totality of contingent things.
Could you go ahead and run that argument past me?
Yeah, so things that exist could be a different way, right? The universe could be a different way. And what I'm saying is not metaphysically, conceivably, logically so, it could have been a different way. So therefore, it's the way it is for a reason. That's a principle of sufficient reason. So we need some sort of necessary explanation for the totality of contingent things. This necessary thing cannot be contingent because then therefore it would require an explanation. So this thing is what we would just call God. That's not giving its properties. It's just a placeholder word we're using for it.
Could we not say that the universe itself is the necessary required thing?
Right. Could the universe be different?
As far as I know, I'm not sure at all.
No, logically speaking, could it be different? I'm not talking metaphysically, logically.
Could it logically be different? Yes.
Okay, then why is it the way that it is?
Because things just happened that way.
So it needs an explanation, right? That's the principle of sufficient reason. That's the scientific method.
I'm not sure that the principle of sufficient reason would apply here in the way that you're suggesting.
Yes, principle of sufficient reason says that things require an explanation. This is why people do science, is to understand the explanation for why things are the way they are.
I agree with that. But I'm not sure that there's, so you're asking for, let me think for a second. Would this not also apply to the God?
No, because God would be the necessary being, and it doesn't require an explanation because by definition it's the necessary being, and it could not be a different way. The universe could logically be a different way. God cannot. That's the point.
Well, I'm not sure that it could logically be a different way. Could you
really? Could you imagine a universe with one more extra planet in it?
I could imagine such a planet abstractly,
right.
But
then logically it could be a different way.
But I'm not sure that I could say that while still agreeing with the rules that are in the universe.
That's irrelevant to what I'm saying. I'm saying logically. I'm not saying metaphysically it could be a different way. It could very well be that this is the only metaphysical possibility that there is. So I'm saying logically it could have been a different way.
Why are you looking at it in terms of like applying to logic rather than the other rules of the universe?
Because it's irrelevant. Because if it logically could be a different way, it needs an explanation for why it's the way it is.
Okay, so if I just roll a set of dice, like there's physical principles that explain why those are the way that they are. And if we get back to the fundamental force of the universe, I would say that we're still looking for that reason. And then until a moment in which we have direct physical evidence of that, I would say that I'm not sure, or, like...
Yeah, I'm not telling you to make a claim of what it is. I'm just simply saying that there has to be something that's necessary. That's it. That's the only thing I've said so far.
Could I say that the rules of the universe are themselves the necessary thing?
Right. So then why are they arbitrarily set to the way they are?
Because I could say that's the only way that they could be.
Right. Could they logically be different?
Logically speaking, yes.
Right. So if they logically could be different, then we need a reason for why they are metaphysically set to the way they are.
Let's just say chance.
Right. Well, if it's chance, it's chance, then it's not necessary.
Okay.
If it's chance, it just means that's the way it landed, which means there's still a question to ask: how did it set the rotation for it to be chance?
I still don't entirely understand why the framing is through logic. Like
Because
I'm not sure if I'm
if it
grasping that.
logically could be something different. Okay, can a triangle have four sides and four corners?
As we humans have defined that abstract concept, no. But theoretically,
No,
I could
it just
call
the
something a
answer is
triangle
the answer. No, I'm not talking about the philosophy of language or what you can call things. I'm talking about when I say triangle, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
totally.
talking
By
about the
definition.
sound that comes out of my face. I'm talking about what it actually represents. Could a
Yeah, by
triangle
definition, no.
have four sides?
No, a triangle could not have four sides
So
by
it's
definition.
completely illogical for a triangle to have four sides.
Correct.
So it's impossible.
By the way we've defined it, yes.
Right. Can a triangle be blue?
Yeah, you could have that
Right?
property.
Right, so it can change those type of properties. That's the difference between a necessary and contingent thing, right? So when you're talking about this universe, you're saying there's certain like laws of logic that are certain laws of the universe that are set.
Mm-hmm.
These things could logically be different, so therefore it needs a reason why it is the way it is, why it's set the way it is. If you want to deny that, then it denies the principle of sufficient reason, which is the scientific method. Scientific method doesn't ask questions like why we can't have a square round room because it's logically impossible, but can ask the question on why a triangle is purple or yellow or blue.
I would agree with that. Although I would say that we can't be sure what the other anything what other properties could this being have? Because in my mind,
I haven't given. I'm just arguing against your point where you're saying you're rejecting it because of statistics, right? You're saying I haven't seen it. Energy can't be created or destroyed. Well, I'm simply saying, well, then I can reject atheism because it doesn't logically follow.
If
like, I'm not making the positive case for a specific type of God right now. You made a case for a specific type of atheism, and I'm saying based off your logic, I can just reject it because it doesn't logically follow.
Yeah, I personally have. I played around with being a deist in the past, like some sort of deist where there's nothing that God does except for set up the universe. Because I did grow up Catholic, so I am open to the idea of being a deist again, personally.
The problem with deism is if there is this being that just creates the universe, why would it create it?
Any reason that necessary being deemed sufficient? And it doesn't even have to have a mind necessarily.
Well, then it's not deism.
Or perhaps I don't know, some sort of Spinoza's God, or I don't know. I haven't looked too much into that, but I'm sure you could call it a mind, whatever caused it. Are you saying that a necessary cause of the universe couldn't have, or could not, or necessarily has to have a mind?
Yeah, so it necessarily has to have a mind. If not, it defies the principle of sufficient reason, and there's ad hoc reasons why the universe is set to the way it is. If it's simply a necessary or contingent, or sorry, a brute fact, it's just a brute fact. There's a necessary particle that sets the universe into motion. Well, the problem is, like, let's say it's a particle, then the particle takes up time and space, therefore it's subject to change, therefore it's contingent. That would create a problem. But let's say this is just a brute fact of an immaterial, non-mind figure that set the universe in motion. Well, then why do we have the parameters that we have? Right? It would seem to be that if it's just a brute fact of all power, that it would just, we'd see chaos, things popping in and out of existence. It'd just be power uncontrolled. But it's not. There's certain factors that seem to have been set, the laws of the universe, for example. So we need an explanation for why that is. If it's just simply that's the way it is, well, then we deny again the principle of sufficient reason. But if we can say it has a mind, well, then this gives us an explanation and doesn't create any arbitrary ad hoc limits.
The thing about it being a mind and not a particle, that makes sense to me. But the immaterial part is what's causing me trouble right now, because I define existence by it being having a material existence. You know,
really? Okay.
Like if something is timeless and spaceless, to me, it's like you can't exist for zero amount of time in space.
That's an easy one to solve. Can you close your eyes and picture a pink elephant?
I can, yes.
Okay, put that elephant on the desk for me.
Are you saying in my head, like I picture that, or like physically?
You picture it. Now I want you to take it out of your head and put it on the desk for me.
Well, I of course can't do that. Yeah.
Why not?
Because it's something I'm thinking of abstractly.
But you said the world is only made up of material things, so therefore you should be able to take it out of your head and put it on the desk.
Well, I would say that it's a reflection of neurons firing my brain.
That's fine. But neurons are not a pink elephant, is it?
No, but they can produce the emergent property of the pink elephant.
Okay, so therefore you're seeing a pink elephant, so take the pink elephant out of the neurons and put it on the desk.
I would die.
Is it even possible to do?
Well, I would have to take out the parts of my brain that are creating this emergent property, and I would die.
No, if you did that, all I would see is parts of your brain.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see a pink elephant now, would I?
Yeah, the pink elephant's completely subjective. It's an abstract concept that's reflecting neurons that are firing in my brain. It's
right. That's fine. That's fine. It's an emergent property.
I'm saying it doesn't have any metaphysical existence.
But you said all things that exist metaphysically.
Or can you say it again? I'm not sure.
You said all things that exist are material.
Yeah.
If I close my eyes and I picture a pink elephant, that pink elephant exists. It's there. Now it doesn't exist in the world as we understand it, but I'm still seeing a pink elephant. So why can't I take the pink elephant out of my head and put it on the desk if it's only material things?
That's true. Let me rephrase that, because that's obviously, for thinking for 30 seconds, it's just wrong. What I would like to add is that things that exist are material, or they're created by mind that is material.
Mm-hmm. Wait, why does the mind have to be material? Because that just seems ad hoc and arbitrary. If the mind can think of something and it exists and it's immaterial, then there could be immaterial things. Why can we not have an immaterial mind?
Because as far as I can tell, as soon as the brain stops working, there's no more emergent properties of the brain.
That's a correlation versus causation fallacy.
I would disagree, because that's only a fallacy insofar as you can't. That's only a fallacy insofar as you can't produce any mechanistic data for how those things work. But as soon as we get mechanistic data, then we can show that those things are not just correlative, but they're causative.
Right. So the problem with that is that when we have people who are technically dead, they measured the brain waves and they found that all the parts of the brain, right, to these people who've had near-death experiences, all the parts of the brain that should be giving them these emergent properties are not firing and not operating in a way that they should, yet they're coming back and saying that they're having these experiences. So that would be a reason against it. So you're just making a correlation versus causation fallacy. And if you're going to say the emergent, the brain, hold on. If you're going to say the brain is, we know for 100% fact, then you've solved the problem of consciousness and you deserve a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, I wouldn't say that I deserve a Nobel Peace Prize, because as far as I'm aware, any lit review that's been done recently already includes the things that I'm saying. I would be interested to see any lit reviews that you could pull up that have a gap in the literature that's referencing the things that I'm referencing. But to be clear, I'm not making correlation causation fallacy, because I'm specifically mentioning the causative mechanisms that I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're not denying that the brain has certain aspects to how you how you operate in the universe. But what I'm saying is, you're saying it's the totality of all things that are consciousness. That's what I'm saying is. Making a correlation is causation. So I'm saying just because a certain part of my brain makes it so I can smell toast doesn't mean that my consciousness is associated with that.
There's been experiments to show that it is. Like, you can literally, Phineas Gage had that metal rod shot through his head when he's working on the railroads. Do you know about the story?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's pretty cool. This guy in the late 1800s working on the railroads. There was a rod on one of the railroads that shot through his head. It was extremely hot. So it cauterized. It gave him a lobotomy.
This argument, I don't care about winning, because I think it's completely irrelevant. Okay. If immaterial things can exist, right? Why can't we have an immaterial mind? If you're just simply saying because we have material minds, that doesn't show that we can't have immaterial minds.
Yeah, I'm not negating. I would, again, this is like I'll go with peace of not here. I'm failing to reject the null hypothesis. Like, I know that we have material things these material things seem to be related to minds. And as far as we can tell through experimentation, these physical things, our brains, cause the mind to come to be. And so until I'm shown otherwise, I'm going to go with that. Because that
Right, that's just the science of the gaps fallacy. Right, I've given good reason to think that this thing is necessary and should have a mind, and you're just saying, well, I've only ever seen material minds, so I'll just reject it.
Well, I would say it's not that I've only seen material minds, it's that we seem to know how minds work and how they're related to the brain.
You seem to know how a material mind works.
Yes.
Right.
And so
that's begging the question.
No, if I'm looking for a solution to the problem of what you're talking about with the necessary, the laws of the universe aren't necessary in themselves. If I'm looking for a solution to that, to me, and you're saying that there's a mind out there, it's like being on a test and there's only a certain number of set answers. And these set answers we know are real things that exist in the world. And then you're penciling in a different one and saying, oh yeah, it's actually,
I'm not penciling, I'm using an inductive argument, right? I'm going through the evidence and I'm making a logical conclusion based off that evidence.
Okay, can you show me the mind that exists outside then?
No, but I just went through that argument. If you weren't listening, that's on you. We literally just went through the whole thing. That was a contingency argument.
I agree that the contingency argument ends in something, some non-contingent thing. But you could say
okay, then if it's not a mind, oh my god, this is frustrating me now because we literally just went through it and you literally just concede that this makes sense, and now we're going full circle again. So when I said that this thing has to be a mind, because if it's not, it'd have to have arbitrary and ad hoc limits that define the principle of sufficient reason.
Is there some literature that I could look up about this on Google Scholar or something later?
Look up the contingency.
I think
argument.
this is the roadblock, and I would have to concede that there's some sort of a mind, but again, that conflicts with my experience of the world so far.
So what?
So if I in my mind, of course, I pair rationality with empiricism. And if both those things can't lead to the conclusion, in my mind, it's not very reasonable to conclude that there's some sort of mind outside of reality. It's a good hypothesis, but I need to test it, right?
You don't test everything. So, for example, is it true that that 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah, 2 + 2 = 4.
Give me the test for that.
Okay, so what you do is you take one finger and then you lift it up, and that's 1. That's the finger.
Wait, how do I know this is 1?
We've defined it as such, just like you define what a triangle is.
Well, no, that's requiring a presupposition. That's a priori knowledge. That's not testable.
No, it's not a priori. We're existing
It's
in the world,
it's a priori. What does 1 represent?
Okay, so I'll try to explain it a different way.
Okay, so let's do it like this. Explain to me what 1 is without using the word 1. Or a synonym for 1.
A synonym for 1?
Or a synonym for 1.
Oh, you're saying without using a synonym for 1.
Yeah.
It is I couldn't define it offhand because sometimes defining words offhand is very difficult, but I could show you enough examples to the point where I think you could understand.
Go for it.
Sure. So take a pen if you have a pen on you.
What do you mean by a pen?
So the word a.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is if I'm trying to show you what something means. Like if I'm teaching you Spanish and you're like, what the fuck is a manzana? Like, I'm just going to pull up this and be like, thumbs up. And it's a banana, But then if it's an apple, I'm going to thumbs down. And we're going to bring up a bunch of other things. I'm going to thumbs down them. But if you pick up the manzana again, I'm going to be like, thumbs up. And through that, you can understand what a banana is, right?
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the concept of 1.
I agree. Bananas exist metaphysically in the world.
Yeah, so
mathematics doesn't.
Well, the concept of a banana doesn't. The physical things there do, but the concept of a banana doesn't.
Right. So here, I'm just going to save you some time, right? Mathematics is axiomatic. This is something that's agreed with in math, right? It's just something that's evidentially true, and there's no way to test it or prove it.
Can't you just like count your fingers? Like,
yeah, I have to have a priori knowledge of mathematics to count my fingers.
What do you mean by a priori? Like before the fact?
Yes.
You can't just like there's nobody out there making up math on the spot, you know, like there's no indigenous tribe.
Math is a universal truth that exists across the universe. And there's no way to test that math is true or a scientific method to prove math. Math is just there.
Well, you can test that the functions in math exist. Would you agree? Like,
yes, but you have to, that's circular reasoning because you have to presuppose mathematics to use mathematics.
Well, I can, yeah, it's, I would test to see that it's internally consistent. Like the system's internally consistent, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. But I'm saying there's
all
I'm explaining to you is that you're saying that I need a way to test this inductive reasoning that I gave you. Well, I'm saying you don't need reasons to test things are just evidentially true, right? This follows the laws of logic. What I'm giving you is an inductive or argument, which basically comes to a conclusion. And if you don't have a reason to deny that conclusion, your tests are completely irrelevant. Because there are some things that are just evidentially true. Like, for example, I cannot have a square round circle. There's no way to test that. You just can't have it.
And I would say that it's evidentially true that you can't have a mind without a body is the problem. So, like, I agree that your argument makes sense, but then at the end, I'm like,
how is that evidentially true?
Seen a mind
you haven't given me a deductive or inductive argument for that, or a reason to think that's evidentially true.
It's the same reason why I don't think like little gnomes that are invisible are actually the things that are causing my kitten that I got recently to move across the floor. And
could it be little gnomes that are invisible? Is that logically possible?
That's logically possible, yeah.
Right, then it's not evidentially true, is it?
That there aren't gnomes beneath her that are invisible?
Right, that is something that you can test, right, and look at and say, what is the best hypothesis considering all the data? You're just saying we have material mind, so therefore any mind must be material.
As far as I know, yeah.
Right, that's not good science.
In what way is that not good science? Because I have taken, some science classes before, and like you think, you have a hypothesis generation.
Because if that is good science, they would have to deny quantum mechanics, because quantum entanglement shouldn't work. Because quantum entanglement.
I would love to get into quantum mechanics. That's a very interesting topic. But one of the most famous things that people say about it is nobody understands it, and that's for me to find one.
Exactly. No one understands it, and quantum entanglement shouldn't work based off our prior knowledge of science and everything. So if all we did was say, well, this is the way I see it, so therefore it cannot be any other way, then when we saw quantum entanglement, we would have just had to reject it and say, no, it couldn't be any other way. They wouldn't
reject it because they empirically saw it, which is what I'm talking about. Like through the previous models of special and general relativity from Einstein.
Right. So you're saying you're just saying that immaterial minds can't exist because I haven't seen it yet.
Well, I shouldn't say that that's true until I see it. In the same way that we don't think the split, the experiment that I'm talking about, or we shouldn't say quantum entanglement works until we see it. So
cool. Have you ever seen a square round room?
A square round room?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Have you ever seen a room that is also square and round?
No, but I'm sure there's some optical illusion where someone's done it.
No, there isn't.
There's no optical illusions for that? That sucks. I've seen some pretty cool optical illusions, but
oh my god. So it's impossible for you to see a square round room.
Okay.
Yet there's no way to see it. There's no way to test it. Yet everybody would claim that this is a fact of the universe. So if your only argument is that I haven't seen it yet, so therefore it's false until I've seen it, well, then you have to reject so many things that you hold to be true in your day-to-day life. Because deductively, you cannot have a square round room.
Yeah, I would say that that contradicts the laws of logic.
Right. So if I give you something that is that inductively comes to a logical conclusion, you can't just say I deny it until I see some material evidence.
I would still think that it's reasonable to until I do see some material evidence. Though.
We've gone full circle. I don't know how to go further now because, like you just said in one hand that you don't need any material evidence to believe something is true using logic, and then when I give it to you in another hand, you say you need material evidence to see that it's true. You see how you're inconsistent?
Let me think of that for a second. I'm going to tell you what. I'm definitely going to have to look up more stuff about the PSR and when it's applied and when it's not. I'm going to have to look up like reasonably saying that things are true or not based off of purely inductive reasoning after this conversation. If you'd like to talk about a specific God claim, I'd also enjoy that. But I do have to, based on what you've said here, that is a contradiction on my part, and I have to concede if we're just going off purely inductive reasoning. So I've got some more research to do. But if you love to, I'd love to talk about any more specific ones. It's been a good conversation.
You're a good interlocutor, but I think I got to jump on because I got other people lost in the queue, and then when I do Phil Bro stuff, I also lose the audience. So I lost about 400 people since talking to you.
It's interesting though, but it sucks that it's not as entertaining. Some people would like to have nice owns and stuff. But yeah, it's been a good one. Keep up those views, I guess.
All right, man. God bless.
Yep. Bye.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, you can join at tinyurl.com/BigJohnSteel10, password 12345. My argument today is there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Come on up.
That was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. He was a good interlocutor. Interlocutor.
It's a big word.
It is a big word. Jake, you don't have a mic connected, so I got to kick you. It's fair warning, guys. You got to join with a Chromium browser. It will not work. Julio, hello, how are you? Just real quick, how old are you? All right, man, let me bring you in. All right, bro, there's no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong when in taco. Go ahead.
Yeah, I understand the prompts. I'm just wondering what you mean by a good reason. Like, what would be a hypothetical good reason to be a Christian, for example?
Yeah, that's just kind of shifting the goalpost. The reason I think it'd be good to be Christian is because of the evidence for the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what is a good, like, is it logical, rational? Like, what kind of prerequisites do you have for something to be a good reason?
Something that is logically sound and coherent.
Yeah, and so when someone's born, for example, are they automatically a Christian? Do they automatically believe something?
I don't know. It's going to depend on each individual.
Yeah, but I mean, like, when you're born as a baby, do they actively believe something? Like, do they actively believe that, for example, God exists? Like, right on the outset.
We don't know, right? There's evidence that shows that people are inherently have the disposition to believe that God exists, and there's research that shows that he doesn't. It seems to be up in the air.
Right. But at least when you, I guess my point is that when you say that God exists, for example, that is an active claim. And my point is, because what I would say is that when you're born, you don't actively believe that. You don't actively believe that God exists. That's a difficult thing to prove. I can't
then
really
why
prove
should I
that.
believe you?
Because when you are born, it seems very obvious to me that you don't actively believe that God exists, because it's a position that must be kind of internalized on you, not something that you
how do you know
believe
that
on the outset.
Are you not just making an assumption?
Because that's how humans work.
How do you know? Because again, here's the thing. If it seems to be the case that all humans are born atheistic, that they just do not believe in God.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that humans are born atheistic.
How are you defining atheistic then?
It's the rejection of God, I would say.
Okay,
or the
so do humans, do humans, when they're born, are you making the claim that they believe in God?
Yeah, I'm not saying that they are rejecting God, like right on the outset. I'm saying that
are
not aware of God because they have never learned of it.
Okay, so they're born not believing in God, which is atheism. No.
They're not believe. I mean, kind of in a way, but more in an agnostic sense, perhaps, where they're not even aware of God's existence. Right? They don't even know that such a thing could exist. So on the outset,
so they're born atheists. Again, they don't believe in God, so therefore they're atheists.
Yeah, sure. In that way, yeah. I'm just
Oh,
making a
okay,
distinction
okay. So
between, you
I'm
know,
not
two
talking about
different kinds of atheism.
anti-theists. I'm not saying anti-theist. I'm saying atheist. All right. So you're saying that
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
all born atheist. Then why is it the
Yeah.
case that atheism, for almost all of history, has been the minority view?
That's appeal to popularity. That's
No, I'm not. I'm not saying it's
that
true.
is a-
Hold
that is
on,
a
hold on. No, 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 no,
logical,
no, 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 Linda, listen.
no.
Listen. Pay attention, because you're not representing my argument properly. My argument isn't that people are born believing
Oh
in
yeah,
God.
okay, yeah, I
No,
understand.
no.
Yeah.
My argument isn't that people are born believing in God, so therefore God's real. My argument is, if you're saying humans are born atheistic, then why is it the case the vast majority of humans are not atheists?
What do you mean humans in this case? Like, do you mean people who haven't even learned of it?
What do you mean? Bro?
No, because what I've been saying before, right, was when you're born, you're not even aware that such a thing as God could exist.
Yeah, you're
'cause
begging
not
the
aware
question
of-
there. So again, you're saying humans are born not aware that God exists. They say they have no reason to believe it, so they're born naturally atheistic. If that is the case, why is it for the vast majority of history atheism has been the minority view?
Yeah, because they're being socialized into it, right? They're being brought up into the religion because that's, you know, as an atheist, I'm an atheist.
So why weren't people brought up into atheism if everybody is born atheist?
Because I think that's just something that we needed to survive back in the day.
Why?
We kind of needed this belief in
Why?
in a supernatural being, because otherwise people couldn't explain all the suffering around them, right? They needed to kind of.
But
a way
atheism
to-
atheism is the point where they don't need to explain it. They just say, I don't know, it's fine, right? So again, if most people are born atheist, why is it that atheism is a minority
I don't
view?
know. That's agnosticism. Like atheism is the projection. Agnosticism is.
Okay, whatever one it may be, the one where it's agnostic or atheist, if everybody's born that way, then why is that the minority view?
Because they're brought up into it. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but those people who brought them into it were also born atheists, right?
Yeah, they were.
And that's going to go on ad infinitum for however long
because
for
as
however
an
hold on
atheist-
for however long
Yeah,
we had rational thought. It's going to go back all the way back to the beginning. So again, why should I think atheism is the default? There seems to be no evidence or reason to believe that.
Because you're not even aware, like when on the outset, when you're born, you're not even aware of such a thing as God existing, right? That's where human consciousness comes in. Because
People are born with innate.
No, can I finish?
Hold
Can I-
on,
can I
no.
finish?
I'm gonna let you finish. But there are people. You're just making this assumption that people have no awareness when they're born. No, right? People are born
I'm
with
not
innate.
saying that they have no awareness. I'm
Let me
just saying that they
finish.
don't automatically.
Let me
Okay, fine,
finish.
Jesus.
There are people who are born with innate abilities, right? So, for example, most animals when they're born just have this innate ability to walk. So, why can't people also be born with the innate ability to believe in God?
Because that is a very specific idea. God. People don't automatically believe that, for example, math exists or that flowers are in the shade of blue. People don't automatically know that because they haven't experienced it.
That's completely irrelevant. I'm saying I didn't say there weren't ideas that weren't innate. I'm saying there are ideas that are innate. So why can't God be an innate idea?
I'm not saying that it can't. I'm just saying that it's not really, because you don't really know that God can exist when.
That's
when
still
you're
not
born.
answering my question.
Okay, so can you
Because you're just
phrase it in a different way?
assuming
Yeah.
you're just assuming that atheism is the default, even though you have no evidence for that whatsoever. So therefore, I could just reject that, considering that most people, again, throughout history, were born are theistic throughout time, born or not.
Yeah.
So I actually seem to have reason to believe that people have this natural inclination towards God. And you're just saying because they were programmed to be theistic. What evidence do you have for any of these claims? Why can't it just be the case that people have this natural inclination to believe in God?
It seems very obvious to me that when you're not like, because what I'm coming at this from is from a position where if you haven't experienced something or you haven't thought of something yet, it's not even.
You're
in
just
your
begging the
conscious
question,
map,
bro.
so to
You're not
speak.
giving me an explanation. You're just
No,
saying it is.
I'm explaining. I'm giving you an explanation.
No,
'cause
no,
I
you're
don't
not.
feel
You're
like
using
understanding.
a circular explanation. You're saying it
How
seems
is
to
it
me.
circular? What
it's
is my explanation?
Because your explanation is people are born without the ability to believe in God.
No. I'm not saying without the ability.
Not
I'm
without.
saying
Yes, you're
that.
right. You're right. I misspoke. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
without believing in God.
Yeah, they're
You're
not
saying the
even
reason people
conscious
are
of-
born not believing in
Yeah.
God is because they're born not believing in God. That's circular.
No, that's not circular.
That is
I'm not- I mean,
circular.
I'm saying that if you not, because humans, they cannot automatically be born believing certain
Right, that's
things.
circular. You're saying they don't believe it because they were born not believing it. How do you know?
No, because that's sheer logic. It's obvious to me. It should be obvious to you too.
So you're okay. I'm just going to use your argument that you use against me. It's obvious to me that a God exists, and it should just be obvious to you too.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, yeah, fair. It's difficult for me to justify that. Because where are you coming at from this? Are you saying, because I think that people are like a blank slate when they're born, right? And
I
they
don't.
need to experience. Okay, so would you say that someone does believe in God right when they're born?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not claiming I do know. I'm just saying that if I look at the evidence, it seems that people have this natural inclination to believe in God.
Right. But I would posit that it's more likely that people can't just automatically believe things when they're born. That just isn't how our brains work.
Why not?
Because we haven't had any sense impressions yet. We haven't had any.
Is a child born with the inclination to love their mother?
Not necessarily. No, it's something they're taught.
No, they're not. If they don't have that love from their mother, they'll die.
It's biologically necessary, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of how. Yeah, it's biologically necessary. They will.
Is love an abstract concept?
In what sense?
Man, it was really hard learning how to cry when I was a baby. Almost starved to death.
I just got a super chat that said, man, it was really hard to learn learning how to cry when I was a baby. You almost starved to death.
Yeah. I would say that is something that you would, that's an ability that's kind of inherent in your biological function.
Right, so why can't you have an inherent ability to believe in God? Right, you're just gonna, like, if you're hungry, you have this inherent ability to strive and hold on. If you're hungry, you have this inherent ability to strive and look for food. If God actually exists, why wouldn't you have this inherent ability to strive and look for God?
Yeah. Okay. Because do you mean God here in the sense that
doesn't matter what
he's only the creator of the universe? Yeah.
Doesn't matter what sense. You're shifting.
No,
you want to shift the goalpost because I got you.
No. Seriously, because I would say that the idea of a God is way too complex for.
Right, you're not answering the question. You're changing the topic. You're changing the topic, right? Answer my question. No, because you're changing to this idea of the complexity of God. So again, if humans have this inclination to naturally seek out food because they have hunger, is it not possible that they could be born with this inclination and naturally seek out God because God wants a relationship with them?
Sorry, wait. You mean that? So you're positing now that it's possible for babies to naturally believe in a all-loving God, like right on the outset of birth.
That's literally the whole thing. What have I been debating a different topic?
Yeah, because, no. Because before you were saying that you don't know.
I don't know. You're saying it cannot be that way, and I'm giving you a logical possibility on how it could be that way.
Right. Well, I just don't think that could be true. Because
I don't care what you think. Give me a reason why I have to reject it.
Because that's just not how humans work, I think. Hold on, because I think that's probably where we're
So, but your whole argument is you just don't feel it.
Yeah, but that's also why I wanted to go into our definitions of God, because
doesn't matter. Because you're saying people are born. Yes, it does matter. Because if your argument is people are born naturally rejecting God, they just naturally don't accept it, and I'm going to grant that worldview, and you have no reason to believe that, why would I move on to the next topic?
No, because
Just one second.
If you see something designed, it had a designer. A child can understand this. Why do atheists reject that innate intuition when it comes to the universe?
Right? All right, so again, why do I need to grant your argument here? I have no reason to believe it. I can simply say, I don't know if humans are naturally inclined to believe in God or not.
Yeah, no, because that's because they can't have belief.
Why can't they? Why can't they? Give me the reason why, outside of the fact that you just feel it.
It requires language and conceptual structure. It requires that you actually have
No,
a
it
brain
doesn't.
that can believe stuff.
It doesn't require language.
It requires an understanding of our language. Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
That's why I wanted to go into definitions. Because
No, it
you're
doesn't.
refusing... Yes, it does. Because
No, a child can believe that the mother is going to hold them and not drop them and have that faith and trust without understanding the human language.
How do you know that they trust that?
Animals have faith in all sorts of things without having language.
No, how do you know that they trust that?
Based off their actions.
You're right, and yeah, based off their actions, I can't say that they're actively believing God. I haven't seen.
Yes, I can, because if all of if all of humanity strives and seeks out God, and they have done for the beginning of time, that would be based off their actions, wouldn't it?
No, not all humanity.
Hold on. The majority of humans have sought out God, have they not, throughout history?
Yeah,
is that not based off their actions?
Right? That's just like,
it's not an appeal to popularity, you freaking idiot. Listen to what I'm saying. No, pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. Did I say that because people sought it out, God is real?
Sorry, what?
Did I say because people sought it out, God is real?
No, that's not what you said.
Okay, then how's it an appeal to popularity?
Because you're saying that people work like this because the majority of people do that. Not everyone, but just the majority, right?
No. Pay attention and listen. All right?
Okay, say it again
so,
then. Let's see if I misunderstood it.
You said that you have reason to believe they have faith based off their actions in trusting that their mother's not going to drop them. So I could say the same reason that I see humans strive out and seek God. I have reason that they're born to believe that they're born believing or have this inclination towards God based off their actions.
Right, yeah, but this is still like... This is... no, wait, what? Sorry? Can you repeat that again? Am I just misunderstanding you, or is that what you're saying?
If based off someone's actions, I can determine that they have a faith that I will not drop them, then I could say based off humanity's actions that they seek out God, I can determine they have this faith to seek out God, this innate faith.
Yeah, is it innate or is it...
I don't know if it's innate, but you're saying it cannot be innate, and I'm asking you to prove that.
Yeah, because you're saying humans have this innate thing that they like to...
I am not saying that for flying frick. For flying frick, you freaking, you baboon. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah,
for the billionth time, I'm saying I don't know if they have this innate ability.
Okay, yeah,
listen. No. Shut up and actually listen. Take out your notepad and pay attention. Write down what my actual argument is. All right, you ready?
Okay.
All right, you got a pen and paper?
I've got something to write on. Yes.
Okay, I don't know if people have this innate ability. You're saying they do not. I am asking you to prove it. You can't. So I'm giving you logical reasons why I think it could be the other way, but ultimately saying I don't know.
Right. So, okay, yeah. So because I'm saying that people don't have the innate ability to believe in God, and I can prove that. That's your issue with what I'm saying, right?
You're just making an assumption.
Yeah, I'm just making an assumption. Now, I don't think I'm making an assumption. I genuinely think that infants can't have explicit beliefs.
Prove it!
Because they do show cognitive biases that for example they show they do have this connection in their brain between for example, oh, I'm hungry, I need to cry, right? That sort of thing. But the way that God functions in our society is like a you need to have a pretty complex understanding of both language and our common
that's begging the question.
Of what it is.
Prove that they don't have this innate ability. To just seek out God. I'm not saying to fully comprehend or understand them.
What are you expecting me here? Are you saying I need to find a study on this?
You need to make an actual argument outside of I just don't think so, bro. That's your whole argument since the beginning of this conversation.
No.
Is that humans are naturally born atheistic because that's how you feel.
No. It's not how I feel. It's my understanding of how babies think.
Is a rock an atheist?
No, but they can't think.
Okay, so then are babies atheistic?
Well, they can think, just they can't think of the complex idea that is God, like right on the
How
outset.
do you know what babies are thinking about?
I was one.
Oh my word. You remember being a baby?
Yeah, not really. And that's kind of the issue.
I remember when you were a baby. It was like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, I realize I need to go look up on some neurological studies, and I'm on a trip to visit foreign countries in a couple hours, so I should probably go now.
All right, man. Appreciate
But
it.
it was interesting talking to Talking Head.
All right, God bless.
Yeah.
Peace. Abby, entertain.
I was gonna leave.
Well, you can leave after.
Fine.
For I am the man of this household.
What do you want to know about John? John's trying to be nicer, so you baboon is the best you're gonna get. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know where his thinking would go because I know, like, I work in schools. I've met kids that are nonverbal. So would he say that nonverbal kids don't believe anything or think anything? I wouldn't say that, but I don't know. Yeah, he was a little bit frustrating. I know that babies don't think because I was a baby, but I don't remember being a baby. Is John a liberal? What do you think? Do you think John's a liberal? John, I think we both kind of squeeze the toothpaste from the middle.
Yeah.
And then we work it up from the bottom.
I kind of do it from the top when it's a new tooth. It's so dumb, but that's what I do. I know it's dumb. All right, you're free.
Thanks.
I'll entertain the masses while you're gone.
Nos, I was talking about the fact that he was saying about speech. That if you can't talk, the language is necessary for belief. So that would follow with nonverbal children.
No, because nonverbal children would still understand language.
We don't know that.
Fair. And they never told us, did they? I mean, my cat believes I'm not going to eat him every day. I don't think he has language. I'm a sub, so you're not locked out. You're not locked out, bro. I'm an RBT, a nonverbal child, definitely understands language. What? Some could, maybe some don't. I don't know. How do you know? Did they tell you? Did they tell you? Yeah, only one. Did I get Abby in a Muta McDonald's marriage? What? What is that? Behavior is a language? I can grant that. I could say behavior is a language. I'm fine with that. Fine with that. I keep thinking that from my perspective, it looks like my head is lower than the mic. Actually knows. Does Abby snore? No. No. She sleeps like the dead. The only reason I know she's alive because she sweats profusely. Do I like pineapple on pizza? It's the best. Who doesn't like pineapple on pizza? Guys, make sure you're smashing the like button, sharing live, doing what you need to do for us to get out to the people we need to get out to. While we're waiting, actually, let's do some super chats. Jason came in with $10, says, is a hypostatic union exclusive to the Christian Trinity, or are there other examples? That's the only example I know of. Mitchell came in with $20, said, good morning, beautiful people. I remember that. Mitchell came in with $5, says, time for work. I'll be rewatching this one tonight. Be safe. God bless y'all. I might be back. God bless, man. Have a good day building those pool tables. Jacob came in with $5, says, John, tell him to read the Critique of Reason to understand how the Axions came to the universe knowledge. I haven't even read that. How would I know that? Style Royal Working came in with $5, says, it's almost like God made himself to know us. Almost. And then Funky, we already read that one. Man, it's really hard learning how to cry when I was a baby. Gabriel with the 22. If you see something designed has a designer, a child can understand this. Why do atheists reject that innate intuition when it comes to the universe? There's a lot of presuppositions in atheism. Lots of them. Lots of them. Guys, smash the like button, share the live. Let's get out to the people we need to get out to. Just waiting on Abby before I bring in the next guest. I don't know if you're showing up there. The queue doesn't tell me who's there. I click next, and the next person comes up, and it goes in order of the way they joined. That's just how it works. You eating a cucumber?
Also, when you had that really long Philbro conversation,
Yeah.
we in the chat were just talking about fast food restaurants.
Philbro conversations. You're going to lose them. You're going to lose them. That's the problem with atheism. It's like, give me evidence for Christianity. Here's the evidence. And they go, like, ask any atheist why they believe in evolution. They're not going to give you a good answer. They're going to say, we have fossil records. Show me. They haven't looked at it. Listen, I'm not even anti-evolution. I'm just saying most atheists don't have any argument for evolution, yet they believe in it because the scientists told them so. The scientists said so. Nate, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? You got me on the playback and you just got a lot of echo. All right, man, let me bring you in. All right, man. No good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
Cool, man. Thanks for having me. So I want to talk about both of your claims. The first one being there's no good reason to be a Muslim. But to do that, obviously, to prove you wrong, I have to... Is that when you say prove you wrong, are you saying on your terms, like so to your satisfaction, or are you saying, I mean, how do we measure whether I'm proving you wrong or not?
It has to be sound.
Okay, and you would be the arbiter of what's sound or not in this case, obviously.
No, there are certain deductive and inductive ideas how to determine something as sound, right? So you can, for example, give a syllogism. If I agree with a couple premises and the conclusion, then if I agree with the premises and I have no symmetry breaker, I necessarily have to agree with the conclusion.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, given that you're obviously a Christian, right? Mm-hmm. So my question would be, what differences do your reasons have to that of a Muslim's that Christianity has good reasons to believe it and the Muslim does not? What's the differentiator?
Yeah, so we have the historic reportage model of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
The historical
reportage model of the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Okay, and so if a Muslim were to come to you and say, hey, I have historical evidence of Muhammad's teachings, the fact that,
Well, I believe Muhammad existed and he taught things. That doesn't prove that what he taught was from God.
Sure, but they'll cite things like the Hadith, the various biographical accounts of the Prophet Muhammad, various archaeological findings, very similar to...
Yeah, so the problem with like Islam, for example, they have the Islamic dilemma. The Islamic dilemma, the Quran says that the Bible is true, but the Bible says the Quran is false, so they have this dilemma there, and there's two horns to that. And they also contradict what's in history. So, for example, they say Jesus Christ was never crucified. This is something like John Dominic Crossan says is one of the most assured things that we know in history is that Jesus Christ was crucified. So I have good reasons to reject Islam.
Interesting. Okay. So basically that's kind of the crux of the difference you're saying between the reasons is that there's more historical evidence that he was crucified than not, and so therefore we can reject Islam. Is that correct?
Well, yeah. So if something comes out, this is like history, right? If something comes out 600 years after most of the documents that we have in history and says something that's contradictory to the rest of history, that's a good reason to reject it.
Okay. I think that's fair. You have at least a differentiator between like your reason and the Islamic reason. I mean, I think that they too would probably, obviously I'm not a Muslim, but I think they would have lots of historical things that they would too.
I promise you they don't. I've debated literally hundreds of Muslims. They don't.
Well, all I can say is okay, right? Like, but I think that a lot of Muslims
just go look at my videos. Like I have them posted, and you can go look at the lives where I've debated the Muslims. You'll see that they don't. Right? You can go watch any Islamic debate where they defend Islam. You'll see that they really do not have the arguments that they have for Islam is they say it's a linguistic miracle, so therefore it's from God. Like that's all they got, and that's a very subjective thing that has no methodology in to determine whether or not it's true.
Okay, and you would say your methodology comes from historical sources.
Yes.
That's the main methodology that you have that drives your reasoning to say that this is a good reason to be Christian.
Yeah, so the historicity and the philosophy of science.
Okay, well, philosophy of science probably could also be applied to Islam. I wanted to drill down on the exact difference in the reasonings. So that's one. Your other claim is that there's no good reason to be atheist. So I also wanted to touch on that. So I understand that you're citing the Stanford Philosophical Dictionary on like what atheism is, correct? But obviously, like that's a long description, and there's both a sort of a psychological definition as well as like a philosophical one in terms of when you're talking about religion. When sort of the way that I experience it personally is that the belief in something is from a psychological standpoint. It doesn't come from philosophy. It comes from the mechanisms of one's mind and their psychological state, whether they believe or don't believe in a certain religion.
The psychological processes in one's mind relies on the laws of philosophy, the laws of logic. They do not operate without that. So to say that like it's a biological thing and it rejects philosophy, it just doesn't work because it relies on philosophy to work.
Well, it's not that it rejects philosophy. I'm saying that in these different contexts, Stanford cites two different definitions of what it is to be an atheist. And, obviously, like, you've been throwing a lot of terms around in terms of agnosticism and atheism. And I think that it's important to drill down on kind of what exactly we're talking about. I mean, atheism in a colloquial sense, and if you ask most atheists, I would say, probably the vast majority, they would say that atheism is simply the lack of a belief in God. Would you agree?
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't change my argument.
Yeah, fair enough. So if it's the lack of belief in God, then what that means is they don't have a belief in God, meaning they don't necessarily posit that there's no God.
Yes, they do.
So, well, I'm saying as a characterization.
They're not saying I don't know. They're saying I do not believe in God. So I do not believe God exists. So therefore, there's no God.
No, you're conflating. Just go slow here with me for a second. So you have either I don't believe in something to be true, and the other side of what you're saying is I believe that thing not to be true. Honestly, like,
you do not believe it's true. So it's just a simple dichotomy. If you do not believe it to be true, is it true?
If I do not believe it to be true, is it true? Well, those two things are independent of each other. It could be true, and I'm not believing. I'm
not asking if it could be true. I'm just asking if you do not believe it's true. Is it true?
If I do not believe it's true, is it true? No.
Right. So then you're saying there's no God.
Whoa.
It's a true dichotomy, right? Like there's no other way to answer it. Like you could say I could be wrong about that, but you are making the claim there's no God.
No, I'm not though. I'm not. I'm telling you, I'm not.
Are you atheist?
I would characterize myself as an agnostic atheist.
Well, agnosticism is saying I don't know.
No. So let me just quickly do this for you. So and this is really my understanding of what the vast majority of modern atheists believe. So
that's an ad populum fallacy.
Fair enough. I mean, I can retract that, but I think I've spoken to a lot of atheists and heard a lot of atheist dialogue, and this is kind of my understanding of what I've gathered of the vast majority of atheists. I'm willing to say that it's my understanding. Fine. But what I'll say is Gnosticism and agnosticism is simply a qualifier of how sure we are about what we're talking about. So if I say I'm agnostic on the existence of unicorns, then what that would mean is that I don't know, but it could be. But while the absence of unicorns exists, I have to assume that I have to live in a world in which they don't, because, well, they don't. And I can't say like there are no unicorns at all, but what I can say is, based on the lack of evidence of unicorns, I can say that we can reasonably live as though they are not real. Does that make sense?
No, because we have good reasons to say that unicorns are not real, because we know the context in which unicorns were invented. We know the literature towards it.
Yeah,
We also know what it's been
regardless-
associated towards. We've also explored a good amount of the planet. So we have good reason to reject the idea of unicorns. If you're just simply saying, I haven't seen a unicorn, so therefore unicorns are most likely not real, that's ridiculous.
No, that's not what I'm saying, man. I'm saying, obviously everything you just said is true about, we have good reasons to believe that there's not unicorns, but the fact of the matter remains, there could be a universe somewhere where unicorns exist, right?
Yeah, if you're going to say alien unicorns, yeah, and if you're going to say it's
Right,
most
whatever.
like, so like, are you atheist towards aliens?
Am I atheist towards aliens? Well, as of today, we have obviously, some people say that there's more evidence coming in the modern day, but at least up to the point of like the 21st century, we have no evidence of aliens.
Mhm.
And so I would say I live in a world where we don't see.
Bro, it's a simple
we have
answer.
no
You're making it
evidence.
more convoluted. Like, do aliens exist? Do you think they exist?
Do I think they exist? I don't know, but I don't. Based
So
on
you
what
don't
we
know,
today,
but you're not saying I do not believe aliens exist, right?
No, I am saying I have a lack of belief that aliens exist. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe in the positive claim that
So
aliens
you don't believe
I do not.
aliens exist.
I guess that's fair to say. I feel like I'm being more clear in my nuance and reasoning than you're trying to make it out to be. You're trying to make it more black and white, and I'm saying
It is
what
a
I
true
don't
dichotomy.
have-
You're making it not a true dichotomy because it's ridiculous, right?
No, but it's
You
not
don't
true.
say
I
you
think
don't
there-
say
hold on,
we don't
hold on,
say
hold on.
hold on. I've let you speak for a long time. Let me speak now. So we don't say that there are no aliens in the universe because we haven't seen aliens. We look at the probability. We say, hey, there's a quintillion amount of planets out there. We know how life operates. We know what the possibility of life given these certain elements. So we could say, hey, there's a certain amount of planets in these Goldilocks zones. So there's a higher probability that aliens do exist. So even though I haven't been getting evidence, I'm going to have to say I'm agnostic, right? That I do not know one way or the other. But for some reason with God, we kind of just look around our own planet and go, well, I haven't seen God around, so God probably doesn't exist.
But those two things are they're kind of one and the same. I can say like there's basically three lanes here, right? There are no gods, there is a God, and there is I have no evidence to believe either way,
which is agnostic.
But the state of being that you live in based on that lack of belief either way is such that the God doesn't exist. Does that make sense? It manifests in your
you don't
life.
have to
If-
change your
if
state
you
of being
don't
to be
take-
agnostic.
If you don't take either of those arguments, then you're living your life as though God does not exist. Therefore,
Which you could do as an agnostic.
I mean, okay, this is just semantics, though. So I'm talking about
Semantics
and
are
this is what I'm
important.
trying to do this. I understand this, but this is
Yeah.
what I was trying to do with the unicorns and all of that. Agnosticism is not a belief. It is a characterization of a belief. If I'm agnostic on something, then I'm not 100% sure. If I'm Gnostic, then I'm saying I am 100% sure. If I was to say I'm a Gnostic atheist,
No,
well, that means that I'm 100%
agnosticism is I don't know, or is that we cannot know, right? So those are the two ways to look at agnosticism. So you could say I don't know if God exists, but that's not what you're saying. You're saying I'm atheist. God does not exist.
You're not getting the definitions right here, though. Atheism is the
Yes, I
lack
am.
of belief in God. It's not I believe that a God does not exist.
Yeah, when you lack the belief in something, does it exist?
If I lack the belief in something,
From your
then
perspective, does it exist?
I don't believe that it does exist. But
Right. So then, from your perspective, you don't
I'm
believe it
not saying-
exists. Bro, when
yeah,
you guys know, give me one other scenario in your life where you say, I lack the belief in that. Right? It's a
Okay,
cop-out answer because you guys know you don't have any basis for your
I can
worldview.
give you tons of examples of that.
Like
And
what?
in every single day, I say, I mean, why would I believe that? I mean, like, I'm agnostic on the idea of, tons of conspiracy theories that people throw out, right? Like,
You're giving me vague
that's-
references into the ether. Give me a specific example.
I mean, I'm agnostic on
Agnostic or
whether-
atheist?
Well, atheist is a description of a god. So to apply the term atheist to anything other than the context of a god would be ridiculous and wouldn't make
So
any
when you say
sense.
you're agnostic, you say I don't know. When you say you're atheist, you're saying there is no.
Wrong.
Yes, that's literally, again, that's in I lack the belief in a god, right?
Hold on. Okay,
So if
I think
God
I
if God does
understand
not, hold on, if you do not believe in God, it logically follows that God does not exist from your viewpoint, right?
If I lack the belief in God,
Yeah.
then I don't have a belief that God exists.
Right. So then God does not exist. So from your viewpoint, there is no God.
Wrong.
Oh my God. That is the logical conclusion. If you do not believe God exists, God does not exist. So from your viewpoint, there is no God. Make it make sense. Go ahead.
So you have two things. You have agnosticism and you have atheism, and you what you're doing is you're saying these are two sides of a spectrum. You're saying if you're agnostic, you're saying you don't know. If you're atheist, then you're saying you do know that there is no God. Yes. So what I'm saying is that those two things are not on opposite sides of the spectrum. What you have on opposite sides of the spectrum are theism and atheism, and within that spectrum,
I think you just backed yourself into a corner there. If those two things are on the opposite side of the spectrum, theism is the claim that what? That there is a God.
I backed myself
Atheism
into a
is the
corner.
claim that is there, then there's what
Before I
then?
finish.
Hold on though. If those are true dichotomy, just answer the question. If theism is the belief that there is a God, then what's atheism?
Atheism is the lack of belief in a God.
Which it means?
That's what I said. I've said that so many times already.
Okay,
I don't
if it's
know
the
why I
lack and belief of a God, is there God?
I don't have a belief that there is a God,
Which means what?
which means I don't have a belief that there is a God. What do you want me to say?
So do you
man?
believe there is a God?
Do I believe that there is a God? No. I also
Okay,
don't
then the
believe-
logical conclusion is if you do not believe there's a God, then you
also
believe
don't
there is
believe-
no God,
I
right?
also don't believe that there is no God. I also do not believe that.
So then you're agnostic.
Wrong, man. Wrong. Okay.
Then you're stupid. It's one of those two things, man. You're either agnostic, atheist, or stupid. Which one?
I keep trying to explain this to you, but then I get cut off and you go on a tangent.
Bro,
after
I've let you
questions
talk
about
for like 10 minutes straight. So don't go on this like I cut you off thing. Like I've let you speak for a long time. I cut you off because you're just repeating the same thing. So how long do you need to speak? How long do you need to speak? I'll put a timer on so I don't cut you off. And you can repeat the same thing you said 4 times now.
You can give me 2 minutes and this will be done. Okay. Theism and atheism is the spectrum. And within that, what you have is Gnosticism and agnosticism. Okay. If I'm a Gnostic theist, what I'm saying is I know that there is a God. If I'm an agnostic theist, what I'm saying is I believe there's a God, but there might not be. If I'm saying that there's a Gnostic atheist, then I'm saying I know that there is no God. If I'm an agnostic atheist, okay, I'm saying that Gnostic and agnostic can be applied to both theism and atheism as a qualifier of the belief. So if I'm an atheist, I can either be a Gnostic atheist or an agnostic atheist. Okay, do you follow me so far?
I'm giving you 2 minutes.
Oh, I mean, I asked you a question. I mean, fine. I mean, that's pretty much the entirety of it. I mean, you're conflating agnosticism and atheism are not mutually exclusive, man.
Okay.
They
Can you show me?
be
Can you
both.
show me in academia where anybody conjoins agnostic theism?
Agnostic theism. I don't have any academia on me today, but what I'm trying to illustrate it to.
So are you just you're just
as a
throwing
law-
words together that don't work then?
No, you can look into
What
this.
what does the word theism mean?
Gnosticism is
What does the word
is-
theism mean? That's not the question I asked you. I didn't ask you what Gnosticism means. I asked you what the word theism means, right?
Theism
yeah.
is the positive claim that a God exists.
Then how the hell can you be agnostic theist?
Because you can say, I believe, I live as though a God exists. However, I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure.
Then why don't you just say
that a God
agnostic?
exists. Because it's more accurate. I'm accurate.
How's it more? Those are contradictory terms. If you're a theist, you believe that God exists. If you're agnostic, it is literally a contradictory term. Agnostic means I don't know, or you cannot know.
I just told you exactly how that works. How does that not work in
You
your
just
mind?
you just conjoined the words together and made it sound like it doesn't work. It's a contradiction by definition. So if you say I don't know, and then hold on, I gave you 2 minutes, so shut up and let me speak. Right? So if you say I don't know, and then simultaneously say I don't know, I do know, that's a contradiction. Yes.
That's not what I said.
That's not what I asked you. Did I ask you? Did I say, hey, did you say this, Nate? No, I didn't say that, right? What's the question I asked you? If you simultaneously say, I don't know, and then say, I do know, is that a contradiction?
Yes.
Okay, what is the definition of agnostic?
To be not 100% sure of a belief.
No, the definition of agnostic is you cannot know or you do not know. That is the definition, the colloquial definition, yes?
You cannot know or you do not know.
Yep. That's the definition, yeah?
I'm willing to accept that, sure.
Right, then what is the definition of theism?
The positive claim that a God exists.
So then you're saying you do know.
I'm saying that I believe.
So if you're saying, so if the theism is the positive claim that God exists, agnosticism is saying, I don't know, those are contradictory terms, yes?
You just skipped over what I just said completely. I'm saying if theism is not.
Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Oh my God, here we go again. Is this?
Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Is this just like full stop on the conversation?
Well, you're just kind of using the word belief as like this way to get out of how basic words work. Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Belief is everything we're talking about.
Just answer the question. Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Oh my God. Why is it worth my time to even discuss this with you?
Then leave. I'm not keeping you here. I don't have a gun to you. Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Okay.
Do you believe 2 plus 2 is 4?
Sure thing.
Okay, so then when I say what is theism and you say the belief that God exists, what difference does it make if you use the word believe? You're making the positive claim that God exists. So if you're saying yes, God exists, and then simultaneously agnosticism saying I don't know, is that not a contradiction?
You can have a belief, but also acknowledge that you could be wrong, correct?
That's agnosticism.
It's not. It's not. If I'm agnostic, by your definition, if I'm agnostic, then it's like I'm right in the middle. I'm saying it's just as
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
It's just as likely that there's a God.
You could say I don't know, but you could say something along the lines of I don't know, but I'd be inclined to go this certain direction.
Yeah, sure. But that's kind of what I'm saying. Is that
That's not what
I
you're
don't
saying.
know, but I believe that there's a God, but I don't know. I know that there is no God, but I don't know. That is exactly what I'm
That's
saying.
a contradiction.
It's so not.
Yes, it is.
So if I believe something,
Mhm.
am I saying I'm 100% sure it's true?
Are you 100% sure of anything?
No. I'm not.
So then why are you asking me that question?
Well, I'm asking you based on your understanding because I mean, obviously, like there's some kind of miscommunication here. So I'm trying to understand from your view, like what that is.
You can't be 100% sure of anything. If you believe God exists, then you're making an affirmative claim that God exists. If you believe he doesn't exist, you're making an affirmative claim that he doesn't exist. But you can't simultaneously, like, it's just, listen, here's the thing. Atheists just don't want to make ever a positive claim about anything. You guys just want to sit back and say, I'm not convinced of your evidence. That's all you guys want to do.
Okay. I mean, you're just saying, that's just something you're just saying. I mean,
That's based off the evidence I've seen. Make a positive claim for atheism then.
well, what I'm trying to say to you is that that atheism is not a positive claim. That in the vast majority of cases of atheists, okay.
Oh my God, it's not a positive claim. See, you literally just backed up my point where I said you guys don't want to make a positive claim by saying you don't want to make a positive claim.
It's not that I don't want to make a positive claim.
Does God
It's that
exist?
I don't think so.
That's a positive claim.
It's a claim on my own mentality. It's a claim that I don't think that God exists. Yeah, it is.
That's a positive claim. So back that up.
It's not. I'm not saying that there is no God. Just because I don't believe.
That's
that God
agnosticism.
exists, it's not. I mean, I don't know how many. Like I made it super clear what Gnosticism is, what agnosticism is.
Okay, let's just read the definition again. You said you already read it, but read it again. In philosophy, however, more specifically in the philosophy of religion, the term atheism is standard use to refer to the proposition that God does not exist, or more broadly, that the proposition there are no gods. Thus, to be an atheist on this definition, it does not suffice to suspend judgment on whether there is a God, even though implies a lack of theistic belief. Instead, one must deny that God exists, this metaphysical sense of philosophers, but of many, though not all, atheists in philosophy as well. So again, you're just throwing these words together. It's not used in academia at all, and just kind of saying, well, yeah, I can just believe whatever I want. And even if they contradict each other, that's fine.
That's not what I'm saying. Nothing about what I'm saying is contradictory.
Yes, it is. Agnostic, I don't know. Theist, I do know. That's a contradiction.
You just compared two terms that have nothing to do with each other. You just compared agnostic and theist.
Agnostic. I don't know. Theist. There is. It's a positive claim. Theist. There is a God.
It's atheist and theist. Those are the two sides of the coin. Agnostic is a
right. Okay. So fine. Two sides of the coin. Atheist. There is a God. And then, theist. There is a God. Then atheist is what?
Atheist is the lack of belief in God.
No. Theist, there is a God. Atheist, if it's two sides of the same coin. Hold on, am I wrong to say as a theist says there is a God?
A theist says, I believe that a God exists. Yes.
Okay, so then an atheist says?
I do not believe that a God exists.
So therefore, there's no God from an atheist perspective, right?
Wrong from an
okay, fine. You know what? That's all I'm going to do. Anytime anybody ever comes to me as a Christian and says, I need evidence for Christianity to be true, I'm just going to say, I don't have evidence. I just have a belief. And you don't have evidence. You just have a lack of belief. And neither one of us can back up any of our world claims. Let's just continue on. Sound good?
Well, now you're creating a false equivalence there completely. I mean,
I just lack a belief. But you're saying they're two sides of the same coin. Right, hold on. You said they're two sides of the same coin. You said theism. Theism isn't the positive claim that there's a God. It's just the belief that there's a God. Just like atheism isn't the positive claim that there is no God. It's just the lack of belief in a God. Either the two sides of the same coin or they're not. Either it's a true dichotomy or it isn't. Which one is it?
When you say dichotomy, are you saying that it's only one or the other?
That's what a true dichotomy is.
Okay, well, what I described this as from the very beginning is as a spectrum. There's a theist on the one side and there's an atheist on the other. Gnosticism.
Then right in the middle would be what?
Right in the middle would be, I think that it's just as likely that a God exists and that a God does not exist. That would be right in the middle. I think it's just as likely.
So that would be what?
I mean, I don't.
Starts with an A, ends in ick.
We just went through this. That's not a label. It's not a label. It's
bro. When you drive my wife nuts, you know you've done something bad, right? Agnostic, because if it's equally likely that God does exist and equally likely that He doesn't, can you make a positive claim one way or the other?
Repeat the question.
If it's equally likely that God does exist and equally likely that He doesn't, being right in the middle, can you make a positive claim one way or the other?
No.
Then therefore you would have to say, I don't know, right?
Yeah, you would have to say.
So therefore, you would be agnostic, and you originally said agnostic's not even part of the conversation. Now you're saying it's on a spectrum. You're maddeningly inconsistent.
I never contradicted what I said before. I never
Chad,
said
has he
that's-
been contradicting himself, or am I just on drugs?
That's not even what there is no label for the person in the middle. They say
it's
okay,
agnostic.
I mean, you're wrong. You're just wrong. It's not agnostic.
How am I wrong?
Again, agnostic is a qualifier of how sure a person is about a belief. It's a qualifier. It says, I am Gnostic. I would presume that you're a Gnostic theist, meaning you say, I am 100% sure that a God exists.
So if somebody is right up the middle and they say, I don't know, what are they saying?
They're saying, I think it's equally likely on both sides. I already answered this.
So then how is that different from agnostic? What is the difference between the two? Give me the symmetry breaker.
The symmetry breaker, well, okay. What I'm saying is your level of Gnosticism moves you in one way on the scale. It either moves you more towards one.
You're not answering the question. If somebody's directly up the middle, what is the difference between somebody being directly up the middle between theism and atheism and somebody being agnostic?
Oh, okay. The difference would be in what they actually believe to be the case. What they actually believe, how they actually live their life. Do you live your life as though a God exists, or do you live your life as though a God doesn't exist?
It's completely irrelevant. Somebody could live their life based off God exists and not believe in God, right?
No, not really. You
can't live your life as if God existed and not believe in God. That's logically impossible.
Yeah, it is.
How's that logically impossible? Somebody can't go to church and do all the things that Jesus says and then not actually believe he exists?
I mean, you can say that you believe it and
he actively says he doesn't. I'm an atheist. I just like all the things of Christianity, so I live my life as if God was real.
You live your life as though God was real, but
honestly, I think you're just being contrarian at this point. I think if I told you that 2 + 2 is 4, you would argue with me.
I'm not going to argue with you at all on that one, man. I promise. I'm completely good faith here. I'm not.
No, you're not, bro. No, you're not. Does anybody think he's being good faith? Ab, do you think he's being good faith?
I'm just tired.
Yeah, well.
I don't know what gave you the impression that I'm acting in bad faith here. I didn't tell you.
Because you flip-flop and contradict yourself all the time.
No, I'm trying to be super clear on my terms here, man. I'm not you're the one trying to conflate things.
I'm not trying to conflate things. What am I conflating? What did I conflate?
You're conflating agnosticism, the actual level of belief in a claim, with the actual claim of whether a God exists or not.
That's begging the question. Because that's the whole thing we're debating, right?
The whole thing we're
debating is the terms of agnostic and atheist, and then you're just saying the way I'm conflating it is because I disagree with your terms. That is the debate, so you're begging the question.
What I'm saying is that agnostic and atheists are not mutually exclusive.
No shit, Sherlock. That's what we've been debating the whole time. Have we not?
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to get.
Right. So when I ask you what I'm conflating, and you just beg the question to the solution. I've given you examples of how you're being inconsistent. For one, you said it's a dichotomy, right? You said atheism and theism were dichotomies apart from each other. Then when I challenged you on that, you said, no, it's a spectrum. And then you went to the spectrum. You said right up the middle is, you could say, hold on, Linda. When you said, hold on, Linda. Yeah, I said it was you said that atheism is not part of it. It's either theism or atheism. I said, you don't want to go in that corner because it's going to put you in a corner because that's like a dichotomy, right?
Yeah, I said it was a spectrum.
Right, so then, no, all right, man. I appreciate your time. God bless. Enjoy just walking around, not actually affirming anything. All right, what time is it? Dang it.
That was horrible.
That was rough. All right, let's bring up a new guest.
That went on too long.
Well, if I kick them, then I get you're running comments. It's impossible to win with these people. What do you mean by these people? It's the homie Fetishy. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? How are you doing, man? How's
Good,
Abby
man.
and Bert?
They're good.
Struggling.
I saw that, yeah, man. What's up? So I just had a few questions as usual. This one is actually kind of related to the topic. So like before you were saying like which you were saying like, if you disprove Christianity, it doesn't make atheism more true, which is that makes sense, right? But I was just wondering if like hypothetically, could someone like process of elimination all the like kind of like different ideas and then like where atheism is the only one left? Does that make it more true?
Yeah, like if you just threw that, that'd be like inductive thing where you just go through all the evidences and you're saying none of these can be true. It's like that Sherlock Holmes idea. If you remove all possibilities, whatever's left, no matter how probable, must be the truth, or how improbable must be the truth.
Right. Okay. So you could technically do that. I don't know if you ever have that much time in your lifetime to do that, but yeah. Okay. And then another question from a different coming from a different live where you're talking about like abiogenesis and stuff. If could like if God creates like let's say like theistic evolution was true, and then God creates like the universe that way, and then like the stuff like the chemicals, just kind of accidentally come together and make life because God ordered it for that to be possible and stuff. And then that'd be like life coming from non-life coming from life. Is that still abiogenesis or is that like something else?
Yeah, abiogenesis is just life coming from non-life.
So like God could make like abiogenesis.
Yeah,
is a
if
thing.
if we confirm abiogenesis, like I don't use abiogenesis to say that God does, or it's like an argument against God. Like if all of a sudden we proved abiogenesis, I wouldn't change my viewpoint at all. The only reason I use abiogenesis is to show atheists that they believe things that they believe things that they say they require evidence and scientific method to be true, yet they don't have that. Right? They don't have a scientific method to prove abiogenesis. They don't have any reason outside of just using logic to conclude that abiogenesis is the best explanation. Yet they have no problem with that. But for some reason, when we get to like Jesus Christ rose from the dead being the best explanation, they'll reject that.
Right, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, and then my last one is just that I don't know, this is kind of complicated and I don't know if we could really do this in a live, but I just like I'm in a marriage, I'm got to be like the head of the household and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm just not really sure like I'm supposed to do that. I just feel like I have no clue how I would even
By
do that,
leading,
to be honest.
by doing what
By
needs to
leading.
get done as a man. So you just do what you need to do. Like, what do you mean you don't know what to need to do?
I don't know, man. Like I just feel like how do I know if I'm making the right decision?
Well, is it
Like obviously
Well, for one, you can ask your
sorry.
church. You can submit, like, if you submit to your church and like your spiritual fathers, you could submit to them and see if you're going down the right path. And you also test it against scripture and things like as a Christian, that's what you hold to the standard is our church tradition and our scripture. And through that, you can determine if you're operating in a way that is good.
Right, okay. All right. Yeah. So if I'm like struggling to kind of get an answer to scripture, and then I
But
guess
like,
I
what are
should
you
do it.
struggling with?
Well, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like I guess like it's like it kind of like it boils down to like the little things. Like for example, like what is your opinion on like um like sleepovers,
You're supposed to
for
wait till
example?
marriage, bro.
No, not like one night stands. I'm talking about like for example, like like a girl or a guy or whatever hanging out with
You're supposed to
their
wait till marriage.
to like sleep over at a friend's house.
Why would you tempt yourself?
Are you married?
Oh yeah.
Wait,
So are you talking about like her going to have a sleepover at her
wait,
friend's
is
house?
your wife sleeping over at a friend's house?
Well, it's a girl's house.
Why?
And she's not lesbian.
I mean, like personally, I think that's kind of. I wouldn't do that, but I know other women do.
Like, I don't think it's the end of the world, but like if it's an ongoing thing where she's going to have sleepovers, it's a little bit strange to me. But like,
Right.
I wouldn't say it's a sin. I don't know. That's just
Right. Like I don't think she's doing anything bad. Right. Like I have like faith and trust in her and stuff. It's just like that's kind of like that's what I mean, right? Where like you said it's weird, and like I kind of had the same feeling. I was like.
Do you have access to her phone?
I don't.
Like right now, if you picked up
Yeah.
her phone, would that be a fine?
Yes.
Okay. I just making sure.
I don't think it's weird, like a bad thing. I just wouldn't. I personally would not. I like to sleep at my own house.
I just
Right,
I don't know.
like,
I
I
just
wouldn't-
can't.
I
I
wouldn't-
just can't figure as a grown adult why you'd want to go do a sleepover. I could understand you like at a friend's house, you're gonna crash there once in a while, but like I'm gonna go sleep over. Like, could you imagine like if I was like Abby, like I'm gonna go sleep over at Jason?
I think it's different. I think it's different for women, to be fair. But I wouldn't be concerned about doing it. I'd be more concerned about how often, I guess.
Right.
Like, is she there all the time and doesn't want to be home with you?
No, not all the time. Just like every like kind of like sometimes she'll be like, oh, I want to like have my girlies like hang out with the girlies, and then like, and I can kind of understand in the sense that like my presence as like a man kind of shifts like the environment, right? But and then
But
so
how
I
often
don't
is
know.
this happening? Actually, people are asking
Um,
in the chat, are the girlies single?
Yes.
These are red flags. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know your wife's heart. I don't know what's going on. Like, if she's just chilling and just like hanging out with her friends and nothing's happening and there's no other guys over, then I wouldn't say it's sinful, but like, man, that would be a red. Like, if Abby told me like I'm gonna go hang out with the girlies and they're all single, we're gonna have sleepovers and we're gonna do it every other week, I would be like, no. Like, I would say no, you're not doing that.
Well,
Right.
why?
Okay. Yeah.
Why does
Oh,
it
go ahead.
bother you? Because like
Oh,
our
pretty
marriage
mu-
is different, so
Right. No. Yeah. Pretty much for the same reason you guys said. Like, I didn't expect you guys obviously to give me like a black and white, like, no, yeah, don't do that, or like, yeah, totally do that. But like, yeah, pretty much exactly what y'all said was what I was thinking, and so I guess like when I would talk to her about it, I felt bad because I felt like I was kind of intruding on her friendship time, and so
No,
I
and
wanted
nor
to make
do
sure I wasn't being an asshole. You know what I mean?
well, like let me just be clear, right? Like your spouse is a grown adult, can make their own decisions and live their own life.
Right.
I would just be concerned that maybe she's not being honest in that situation, because like I don't see why Abby would want to go have sleepovers with her single friends every other week outside of like doing something that's dishonest. Nor would it work vice versa. Like if Abby found out I was going out with my single guy friends every other week and having sleepovers, I'm pretty sure she would feel a certain way about that too.
Right. Yeah. No. I 100% like feel exactly the same, and but that's when I try to like kind of put, not like when I try to like take myself out of my own head. I can imagine like maybe she goes there, she hangs out with her friends, maybe she's like drinking, and then she sleeps over, and then she wakes up, and I go pick her up.
Well, she
and
shouldn't be
everything's
drinking if
like,
she's Christian.
oh, at all?
Well,
well,
like
to the point where she can't drive.
yeah, if she can't drive, that's too much.
Oh no, we only have one car. That's why I drop her off and pick her up, type shit.
Okay, but then what does drinking have to do with it then?
Oh, I just saying like it doesn't. It's just like the scenario. Maybe she doesn't drink. Maybe she does. I was just yeah.
Right.
Like she just like going and having like a chill time or whatever, and then
Is there ever
like,
guys?
that's just me trying to like
Do
imagine
guys
like
ever
the
show
best
up?
case scenario, right?
Like for the
Said
single
guys?
girlies, are guys ever there?
No. I told her like she can't do that if there's like other guys there. That would definitely be too far for me easily. Now that one is an easy judgment call. I just when it comes to like,
Yeah.
if it's, like
I
obviously,
don't
like
I don't know, man. Like listen, here's the thing. It might just be nothing, and she might just be chilling with her friends, and it's perfectly fine. Like it's probably not an issue. But like I said, me personally, I would have red flags. Like I'd wonder why, right? It's every other
Right.
weekend, and why it's a sleepover, and why you're not just hanging out and coming home. Like I'd be curious the reasons why. But you say if you like, you can access her phone, you have open communication, like maybe I'm just a skeptical guy, but I know like with me and my wife, like we both have access to each other's phones whenever we want. Like she has my passcode, I have her passcode, and we have each other's locations on and all that. And it's vice versa, right? It's not just one way. It's not me being a man, like, oh, I'm going to know everything about you. Like she also knows everything about me too. So we have no secrets, nothing hidden with each other. So I just be more curious why she wants to do that. Like how often is she going for these sleepovers?
Well, recently she went to like she went and like got like a job, and so she had to like do training. So like not it hasn't been happening recently, but before that, like she would ask like every like maybe 1 or 2 weeks usually.
That's too much, man. That's weird, man. That's
right.
There's I like I said, it could be all innocent, but for me, that's weird. Like if Abby every week was gone sleeping at someone else's house, I'd be, what the hell is going on? Why are you doing that? Am I wrong?
Right. Okay.
No, because like I want to come home to you.
Yeah.
Like I'm out and I have fun with my friends, but then like I want to go home. But have you talked to her about it?
Yeah, have you asked her?
I have, and then well, usually it boils down to like, well, if I go over and hang out, well, it's like the scenario I said, like if I go over, hang out with my friends, and we just have a chill time, and then you come pick me up the next day, and everything's fine. Like, what's the issue? And then I go like, well, I guess there isn't an issue then, but then I just still feel really like.
Well, why doesn't she want to be in with you when she sleeps? Like, why can't that? That's
like,
my question.
Well, right, like. I probably should.
How old is
ask
she?
her that, right? She's the same age as me, 25.
20.
Is my age.
Yeah, I think I can't answer your question because I don't know your dynamic. I don't know what she's like. I don't know what you're like. I think you two need to sit and have a conversation. And I think the best thing to do as like an adult is just tell her how this makes you feel insecure. And saying you're insecure isn't a bad thing, right? People, oh, you're just insecure. It's like, yeah, that's fine. You can be insecure about things. That's called being a human and setting boundaries. So if I was you, I would just say, hey, it makes me uncomfortable and insecure why you're going over there, and it raises all these questions. And I'm hoping you can answer these questions for me on like why you want to be away from me once a week, and why you want to sleep over, and what you're doing, and what why is it with your single girlfriends, and all these types of things, and just like get to the crux of it and see what she tells you. And if it's met with hostility, I'm going to say that's a big red flag. But if it's met with openness and like explanation, then I say you're probably in the green.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, that's kind of like. Yeah, that's totally what I was basically thinking before. Yeah, it basically boils down to like it's weird, like it's really weird, but it's ultimately a judgment call, right? And then
I just think it's adults. I think it's just weird adults having sleepovers in general. But that's
right. I definitely also don't get that. I also don't understand like because then also like that her friends are adults asking for sleepovers. So then I'm like
Well,
it's not just her.
some people don't grow up. Like
That's true.
I have
don't
a
think
friend
all of our
from
friends are
college
grown up.
that we like still are friends, but like we're in a very different life stage than all the rest of the people that are in our class. And it's not wrong, I don't think, but
why don't you
just not what we're doing.
Why don't you have the next sleepover at your house and you just stay in your bedroom? Give them their space.
At my house, I don't know. I guess well, I feel like maybe I haven't brought that up before. I'm not sure. I am I just kind of have a shitty house, to be honest. I live in a broken up trailer, but
I get it.
But like, yeah, I also like. I probably should like suggest that would definitely be a lot better too. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'd be more interested in like how she would react, because like if I approached Abby and like, why are you having sleepovers? Say, what, you don't trust me? And she gets all hostile about it. Like I'm gonna have instant red flags, like something's up. But if I met her and she's like, well, listen, If I sat down with my wife and she's like, listen, I love you, but sometimes I just want some space away from you. It's not you, right? You're just around me a lot, and I just need a little bit of space, and it's nothing personal. And then I'd be like, okay, I get it. Like depending on our explanation, because I'm that way. So I love my wife very dearly, and I want to be around her most of the time. But sometimes I want her to get the hell out of my face and give me some room. And so that just might be the case, that she just, like, she loves you and she just needs a night away from you every now and then. I get that, but it's all going to be based on your conversation and your relationship.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Is also, like, how do you feel about that for, like, if she's going, like, if she sleeps over at her mom's place? Sorry.
That's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool, bro. I appreciate the wisdom, man. It's really helpful. Thank you, man.
All right, man. God bless.
Good luck.
God bless. Yeah. Thank you, man. Love you guys.
You just called my wife a man.
He just got confused. It's
I know.
Okay.
Mickey G Tunes came in.
I love when he comes on.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Came in $5, says John should ask how an atheist convinces someone who is agnostic to commit to atheism.
You haven't done super chats like all live, so you should.
No,
go.
I did it when you were in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Gabriel Valencia came in $5, says it must feel good to be in a position where you don't have to justify your worldview. What a cowardly position. It is a cowardly position, right? Like, listen, I can respect an atheist that says there is no God and tries to argue for that. I can respect an agnostic that says I don't know. I just haven't been given enough information on sway one or the other, but I'd be inclined to say, hey, probably not, but I just can't, I don't know. But somebody who says I'm atheist, there is no God, but I'm not saying there is no God. I'm saying I don't know if there's a God, but I'm not going to say agnostic, and I'm going to say there is no God until you prove there is a God, is just the most condescending douchebag new age atheism position anybody could ever do. Just straight up douchery. It's like, there is no God, but I won't defend my position. You must defend yours. And until you've unequivocally proven to me without a shadow of doubt that your God is real, you are a buffoon. That's how they are, bro. That's how they are. Brady came in at $4.99 and says, don't lie, John. You slept in my house last week. No, did he? Aren't you supposed to be locked in the basement with Major John?
We have two of them down there?
Listen, he's going to be if he keeps up with this. Jason Westbrook came in with $2, says, do any of these women have a what?
What?
What is a septum ring?
Isn't that the nose ring?
Oh, okay. Totally thought something different.
Yeah, the nose. You panicked so hard there. Anyway, that's a real question.
Yeah, okay.
That is a legit
question.
question.
If they got a septum ring, she's not allowed to have sleepovers. 100%. I'm gonna have a sleepover with my girlie. Show me her nose. Show me her nose. If she's got one in her nose, no go. Not happening. John got scared. I did get scared there for a minute. I was like, what the hell? That's not what I thought a septum was. Anon, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Anon? All right, God bless. Sue, hello, how are you? And just real quick, how old are you? Okay, give me 2 seconds and I will bring you in. All right, no good reason to be Muslim, no good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong, win a taco. Go ahead.
Hey, so I think I have a pretty good reason to be Muslim and atheist. Just double checking. You can hear me well, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think a good reason to be a Muslim is the community that it brings. And I think that's a good reason.
Okay. Do you need to be Muslim to have a community?
Not necessarily, but you don't. The question didn't say, like, well, the prompt didn't say, like, no good reason that can't be substituted with something else.
Yeah, so it's still not a good reason to be a Muslim, right? Because if the only reason is community, well, you can find community in many different ways. So the Muslim part is unnecessary. Therefore, it's arbitrary.
I don't agree with that. Like, I think if you were to, like, there is a good reason to be Muslim, and community is one of them. There's a
Okay,
specific
so do
type
you
of community that you have when
do you
you're a
need
Muslim.
do you
There's
need to be
joy,
Muslim to have
there's
community?
no, but that's not
Okay,
that's
so
not
then
the point.
that means the Muslim part is arbitrary, right?
Yeah, but that's still a good reason to be
Okay,
Muslim. Is
so
that you
if
have a
it's
specific.
if it's arbitrary by definition, it's not a good reason.
I don't agree.
Yeah, arbitrary by definition means there is no good reason for it to be there. That's what the arbitrary means. It's just added unnecessarily.
So, okay, I'm not very good at on the moment speaking, so you'll have to bear with me. So there are multiple good reasons to be Muslim. The specific type of community that comes with being a Muslim that you can't really get anywhere else, that is one. The
Like what?
specific joy that comes with it, and the specific
Like what?
yeah, like what?
Yeah.
Like there's a culture that comes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That
that's
is
not
a good reason. It doesn't have to be
No.
a solid. It doesn't have to be a
No,
logical
'cause
reason.
that's
It doesn't have
circular.
to be a solid reason. It's a good reason.
That's circular, right? Because you're saying Muslim is good to be Muslim.
Why does it matter if it's circular?
Because by circular means it does not have reason. That's what a circular fallacy is. It
Well,
means
it
there's
doesn't
no
need
reason.
The prompt does not say a reasonable reason.
Yeah, it does.
You
It says
want
no good reason.
no good. Okay, I'm trying to figure it out. So I've been waiting for like 2 hours. I kept getting distracted by her.
It's okay.
No. No. I'm just joking. Trying to figure out. Because I still disagree, but I don't know how to put it into words exactly. We can shift from Muslim to atheist, maybe, because I am an atheist.
Sure.
I find joy in it.
You find joy in atheism, so therefore you're an atheist?
Yeah, I think that's a good reason.
Okay. If I find joy in doing heroin, is that a good reason to do heroin?
That could be one good reason, but I can think of many bad reasons.
But you'd say that would be a good reason to do it?
Yeah, that could be one good reason, but that doesn't mean it's a good thing to do.
So if I find joy in believing that I'm a unicorn and being butt naked, I could walk around thinking I'm a unicorn and being butt naked all the time, and that's a good reason to think that?
I mean, it's the like I can swing my arm as far as I want until it hits someone. So if
Yeah.
you're harming someone by being naked, by thinking you're a unicorn, then that would be an issue. But
That's not. I'm
if
not
you're
saying.
alone-
I'm not saying if it creates an issue in society. I'm asking, is it a good reason to think I'm a unicorn just because I find joy in thinking it?
Yes.
Right. Do you understand how that's like nonsensical?
Could be, but I think it's a good reason.
Yeah, but it's just
Oh,
because they
also,
find joy in it.
I'm double checking. I'm looking the definition for reason. It's a statement presented in justification or explanation of a belief or action. So basically, if I can justify to myself or to someone else that I have a good reason to believe it, then it's a good reason.
Justification can't be fallacious.
But not necessarily. There are multiple definitions for words. Like I find a lot of like your arguments get
If it's fallacious by nature, it means it doesn't have a reason. That's what a fallacious argument is. Fallacious argument is like a distracting argument that takes away from the actual reason or purpose for it.
Well, that
So
depends on,
simply saying it gives you joy creates ad hoc principles. So if it gives me joy to unalive my neighbor, you'd say that's not a good reason to unalive my neighbor because it creates them harm. So therefore, it causing me joy is not a good reason for me to do something.
I don't follow that logic. Like if something brings me joy and it doesn't cause harm to other people, then that's a good reason to do something or believe
Right.
in
You need a
something.
conjunction of those two things. So therefore it's arbitrary and ad hoc, right? Because me just finding joy in it is not a good enough reason to do it. It also has to simultaneously not cause harm to someone else.
Well,
So
not
therefore, by
necessarily, like,
definition, me just finding joy in it isn't a good reason to hold to it.
well, okay, so that's assuming like you have to like
What-
double check.
Okay, let me do it this way then. If I found more joy believing that 5 + 5 = 1,000, would I be justified in believing 5 + 5 = 1,000?
It depends on what you mean by like justified. If you personally believe it, that's fine. If that affects like the math.
Do you
you're
think it's a
doing to,
good
like,
reason to
calculate the
believe 5
plane.
plus 5 equals 1,000 because it brings me joy?
Yeah, I mean, if it's
Okay,
not affecting
that's
anyone,
insane.
yeah.
That's insane. So like, as long as people find joy in it, they can believe whatever they want.
I'm not saying that you can just believe in anything for whatever reason.
That's literally what you're saying. You're saying people can believe whatever they want as long as it makes them feel good and doesn't hurt anybody else.
Let me clarify. There are good reasons to believe certain things. There are also bad reasons to believe certain things. And I think in a bubble, exclusively, like if you believe one thing and like it's not affecting anyone else, that's a good reason to believe or do something. And outside
So
of that
believing
bubble,
5 plus 5 equals 1,000, it brings you joy. That's a good reason to believe 5 plus 5 equals 1,000. So you're just going to deny all of logic and reason because of your feelings.
I mean, okay, so I'm going to get kind of like abstract here. We're not like, so we are individuals, but also we are essentially like a species, a community. We work together. Not all of us have to believe in the same thing. If for some reason, like there are people who are like neurodivergent, there are people who are like mentally ill or whatever, if it helps them to sort of believe in certain fantasies and other people can function on logic and take care of things, I don't see the problem.
Right. So you're not answering my question, though. You think it's a good reason to believe 5 plus 5 equals 1,000 because it brings you joy, even though it denies all of logic and mathematics.
Sorry, I thought I was like implying that my answer was yes through my answer. Yeah.
Right. So that's ridiculous.
It doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be logical.
Right. So you're literally telling me that the good reason to be atheist is because it doesn't have to be logical.
You don't have to have a logical reason to believe in anything.
Well, then therefore it's not a good reason.
Yes, by your definition.
By the definition of the word reason.
There are multiple definitions to the word reason. You're going by one, and you're arguing semantics, and I think you're trying to cheat
Semantics are important. Semantics are important, especially in debate, right? Which is this as a debate platform.
The issue is that words.
How are you using the word reason then if we're using semantics? What is your definition for the word reason?
A solid reason to justify something.
That's circular, using the word reason to define reason.
Well, then you define reason.
Yeah, so based in the principle of logic. Yeah, based in the principles of logic and soundness.
I feel like logic and soundness are similar to reason, though, and that's circular reasoning.
No, logic is based off the laws of logic. Reason is the tools that you would use to come to conclusions.
I would have to look at your dictionary, because like if we get hung up on like every like little detail, and you get to define which exactly like.
You're not giving me a definition. I asked you for your definition, and you just said the word reason again. So you're saying you're upset because we're hung up on my definition. I said, fine, we'll use your definition, and then you didn't give me one.
A justification.
That's synonymous with reason.
Or a belief. Okay, so justification is synonymous with reason, but logic is not.
No.
Man, I just want a taco, and I just want everyone to be happy, and I want a taco.
Well, you're not getting one because you just told me I have to deny logic.
I didn't say you had to deny
yes,
logic.
You did. You said for a good reason for them to be an atheist, they can just deny logic. It doesn't have to be logical. That's what you said.
Yeah, they can deny logic, and you can accept the fact that they can deny logic.
Yeah, I don't think denying logic is a good reason to hold to anything. I think that's ridiculous and leads to absurdities.
You don't have to believe in like something that's illogical. You can just accept that other people can believe in illogicalness.
No, I can't.
I mean, I'm an atheist. I literally like every time I meet a religious person, I'm like, that's totally fine that they can believe something I believe is not true.
Good for you. You want a cookie?
Yes, and a taco.
Okay, well, you have to get it yourself. Yeah. You're just saying let people believe whatever they want, no matter how ridiculous it is. And I don't think we should live in a society that is okay with lies.
We kind of already are, though.
I didn't say we were or weren't. I said I don't think we should. It's an ought claim, not an is claim.
So then how would you change that?
By striving for the truth.
That's fair. I wouldn't know what else to say. I know this is like ridiculous for you, but I felt like it was a worthwhile argument. I waited for like 2 hours. I felt like it
I
was a
mean,
worth argument.
listen, I'm not, listen, you seem very nice. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to you, but you literally told me to take your stance. I have to deny logic.
And that's okay. Like,
but you're literally telling me it's illogical.
Yeah, so the world, like, there's not really a hard line between logic and like illogical things. Like, there are many things that we didn't know in the past, and there are many things we don't know currently.
So like, have you seen someone in an insane asylum that literally thought they were a unicorn, but they were happy, but they had to be in an insane asylum? Would you say, oh yeah, he's got a good reason to think he's a unicorn?
If he's happy and he's not like hurting himself or anyone else.
But would you say no? I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Would you say he has a good reason to believe he's a unicorn?
Okay, I see where you're going. Let's think about that. Yeah, it makes him happy. He doesn't have a good logical reason, but he has a good emotional reason.
Okay. Does he require thinking that he's a unicorn to be happy?
No, but
okay. So then, therefore, the unicorn thing is arbitrary.
It's not. That would be like saying, like, I like to go jogging every weekend. Let's say that's not the only thing that brings me joy. So the jogging is arbitrary, and it doesn't necessarily like.
No, it's not arbitrary because there's a reason. By jogging, it releases certain chemicals in your body that releases the dopamine feeling, which gives you a joy feeling. It also adds to your health and your longevity and your overall well-being in society, and also going to add to your livelihood for your family and children. So there are a lot of good reasons, logical reasons to go jogging.
The same is true for believing you're a unicorn. Being happy.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I'm not just talking about happiness here. I'm talking about overall outcomes, right? I'm talking from a utilitarian point of view, from a consequential point of view. You're just simply saying that he thinks, like, I can agree that he thinks he's a unicorn and it's not hurting society. I can say that. But I can't say he has a good reason to think he's a unicorn.
The thing is, like, it's not just like okay, I'm not gonna like compare jogging and like physical exercise to being a unicorn one-on-one. But if you have low stressors, if you are generally in a good mood,
right? So here's what you're doing. You're trying to get an is from a not. You're saying he is happy, therefore he ought to think he's a unicorn. Can he be happy without thinking he's a unicorn?
If he like gets therapy and doesn't like, he no longer believes in a unicorn, but he can still be happy, then that's fine. That's a good thing. Like,
well, I'm not. You're still trying to derive an is from a not here. So again, you're saying it is the fact that he is happy, but does that mean he ought to think he's a unicorn?
No, not necessarily.
Right. So then, therefore, it's not a good reason to think he's a unicorn.
No, it's a good reason, not.
No, it's not. You can't. You do know the term. You cannot get an is from a not, right?
Yes. Well,
right.
I'm.
Or not from an is. Sorry. Right. So it is the fact that he's happy. That does not mean he ought to think he's a unicorn.
Okay, so like, let's try to get on like the same level, because I feel like there's a miscommunication on my part, maybe, of the difference between a good reason and the only good reason.
No, it making you happy is not a good reason to do things.
I think it can be a good reason.
That's an is statement.
What do you mean by that?
You're just saying you are happy. You cannot get an is from a not.
Sorry, could you break that down for me a bit?
Oh, okay, so So again, just because he's happy, does that mean he thinks that he should think he's a unicorn?
It's not a yes or no thing. It could be a good thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Can you find happiness without thinking you're a unicorn?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you find happiness without thinking that you're a unicorn?
Yes.
Okay, so then you don't need to think that you're a unicorn to find happiness. So therefore, you do not need to think you're a unicorn. So it's not a good reason to think you're a unicorn.
Kind of black and white thinking, though. Like, I'm still trying to figure out, like...
Yes, that's the laws of logic, and that's how they work. It's black and white.
The laws of logic are not black and white.
Yes, they are. 100%.
What is the laws of logic? That doesn't make any sense.
The law of identity. I am me, I'm not you. That's black and white. The law of excluded middle, right? Two contrary things cannot be true at the same time. That's black and white. The law of excluded middle, something cannot be both true and false at the same time. That's black and white.
So I'm making sure I'm taking the time to process this so I don't like say something dumb, which obviously you can believe I did. And that's fine. I'm saying I will tacitly admit I'm saying absurd things for the sake of like philosophy and such. Yeah.
I think it's a philosophical thing.
It's but when you like start to get into like the what is like things start to get absurd when you start to break stuff down. Yeah. I just feel like we're in like we kind of have slightly different axioms, so I don't think we're going to come into
No. You're denying axioms altogether. It's not slightly different axioms.
I mean, part of like your axiom is like that things are black and white.
Yeah.
And part of mine is that nothing is black and white unless you fit very specific.
But what axiom are you using to say they are not black and white?
Our perception of things in general is
that's not an axiom. So like an axiom would be the laws of logic. Those are axiomatic. They just seem to be self-evidently true.
If you listen to me explain, basically nothing we can never know that anything is real or logical. We can make assumptions, but we can never know anything.
Okay, do you know you exist?
No.
You don't know that you exist.
Oh my word.
I assume I exist.
How do you assume you exist if you don't exist?
I didn't say I don't exist.
Okay, so do you exist?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe? How would you even make that claim if you don't exist?
I function as though like believing that I exist, but like it depends on how you
could you even make the claim that you do or do not exist if you didn't exist?
I mean, I might be like a fantasy some ogre dreamed up. I don't know.
But that's fine. You still exist in the fantasy of the ogre.
I suppose.
So do you exist?
I don't know. There might be a different definition.
What do you mean you don't know? How could you say I don't know if you didn't exist?
I don't know.
Come on, Sue. Sue, you're smarter than this.
Oh, you don't even like know me. That's so flattering, though.
Well, I'm saying I think you are smarter than this, right, Sue? If you can say that I don't know, logically follows you exist. Because if you didn't exist, you couldn't say it.
I'm smart enough to know that there are a lot of things I don't know.
That's fine, Sue. But Sue, you know you exist because you're talking, Sue.
To a certain extent, it depends on like what you mean by exist per se. If I can exist as a thought, as a hologram or whatever.
Doesn't matter. Okay, in just the form of existence, you have being. Doesn't matter where or when or if you're a dream of an ogre. None of it matters. You right now you're thinking, yeah.
I'll give you that. Yes.
Okay, so then you exist.
Certain ways I do exist. Yes.
Not certain ways. You think you exist. Yes.
I'll give it to you. Sure.
Okay, so then you know you exist.
I just don't want to cause problems, man. I'm just gonna say yes.
Don't just say yes. It's just the logical conclusion. You're thinking, so therefore you exist, so therefore you know you exist.
Sure.
Okay, so if you know you exist, then you also know truth claims. So then you also know truth exists. If you all know truth exists, then you also know claims exist. If you know claims exist, you also know abstracts exist. If you know abstracts exist, then you know minds exist. And you have this chain of things that you automatically know they exist because of the problem, the one and the many.
How did we get here?
Because you said you can't know anything.
No. Okay, so going back to a good reason to be a Muslim, you said it's not a good reason that it's that you find that a specific community and joy.
Just finding joy in doing something is not a good reason to be a part of that something.
I just don't agree.
I got that
So-
too.
Muslims believe you can marry children. Is that so? Is it making me happy a good reason to believe that?
That is one bad reason, and there are good reasons.
Well,
There
she
are
was
many
talking
good
about
reasons, there are
atheism.
many bad reasons.
No, she's back to
Atheism?
Muslim. She's back
Well,
to Muslims.
we're back to Muslims.
To
You originally said
Muslim, yeah.
atheism. Which one are you talking about?
I said Muslim. You must
Okay.
like recently. You must have misheard me. Yeah.
Go ahead, Abby.
So
I said, oh no, she said that's a bad reason.
Sue, I think
Yes,
I'm gonna jump on, but I appreciate you
Okay.
coming up.
yeah,
Alright,
that's fair. I'm sorry for driving you crazy. I'm not used to like talking in like call-ins. This is like my first
okay.
call-in to something.
It's okay. You're very nice, and I wish you all the best and happiness.
All right.
All right,
See
God
ya.
bless. Let's bring up another guest. We got time for last one. It's got to be a quick one too. William, hello. How are you? And just real quick, how old are you? All right, man. Let me bring you in. You're just very spicy. Okay. All right, man. No good reason to be Muslim. No good reason to be atheist. Prove me wrong. Win a taco.
Cool. Yeah. So first, I would have to ask. No good reason to be atheist. It strikes me as a strange claim because the actual. I mean, I've been here for a while. I've heard the whole definitional dance arounds. I don't want to get into a whole big thing with that with you. I think that hopefully we can agree on the definition of atheism, which is just the rejection of the claim that there is a God, which I don't think in any kind of way asserts from the atheistic position that we say that there is no God. I think there's
It's a true dichotomy. If I say there is a God and you say no, then what's the conclusion?
Well, I don't say no. I just say I don't believe in a God. But that doesn't. My belief in
How's
a God
that?
has
How's
no-
that different?
Because whether or not I believe in a God has no impact. on
Wait,
whether or not
what
God
is the difference between saying no and I don't believe?
No is saying that I can definitively prove that there is no God.
Really? Show me one thing you can definitively prove.
How so? Like through what? Like inductive or
Just
deductive
anything.
reasoning? Like, okay, I could prove that that if it's true that if I jump off a cliff, or if it's true that if I jump off a cliff and I fall, then I'll die. Because if I jump off a cliff and I fall to my death, then I'm dead.
You can definitively prove that?
Yeah.
Lots of people have survived falling off cliffs and out of planes.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a bad example. I'll concede that. I mean, are you just saying that I can't prove anything?
Well, I'm just saying this idea of like you guys just using the word belief to avoid explanation. Because I can just simply say this. If you want to say, well, I believe that there is no God, then I say I believe there is a God, and I don't have to give any evidence, just like you don't have to give any evidence there is no God.
Well,
If you just want to use the word belief like that.
So if you tell me that there's a unicorn on the moon right now, and I say, I don't believe you, that's not me saying there is no unicorn on the moon right now. I'm just saying I don't have sufficient
Yeah, so
reasons.
is there good reasons to say that there is no unicorn on the moon?
I wouldn't know. It's an unfalsifiable
Yeah, of course there's
claim.
of course there's good reasons to think that there's no unicorn on the moon. We understand the context of unicorns. We understand the context of where they're written. We understand how they operate in culture. We also understand the fact of life being on Earth. We also understand that of life not being on the moon. We've seen the moon. We've explored the moon. We looked on the moon. We could say that it's more probable that there is not a unicorn. Can we definitively say that there's no unicorn? But we can make a positive claim saying that it's very unlikely that there's a unicorn on the moon.
Sure. Well, unicorn in the colloquial sense here is that it is just a claim that is it's unfalsifiable. So if we're gonna like refer to like literature and other historical writings and fiction of unicorns, that's one thing, because we've already deemed them to be a fictional thing. But if I say that there is some creature that is unfalsifiable on the moon right now that neither of us can investigate the truth of, then
Yeah, I can say that's also unlikely because of how life operates and the fact that you're claiming this creature has some sort of life, and therefore it's unlikely to live on the moon because the moon doesn't tolerate life. So the probability is very low. So I can make a positive claim to saying that you're probably wrong based off what I understand off my Bayesian knowledge, of my prior knowledge.
Okay, well, see, I think the issue here, though, for me is that I think you kind of just made my point for me, because if you're saying that we have sufficient reasons to believe that there is no unicorn on the moon, my unicorn on the moon is the same as your God in this
How?
sense. Because it's an unfalsifiable claim, but we have reasons
No,
to
you
believe
completely
that that's
ignored
not
everything
true.
I said and went back to the unfalsifiable claim thing. So just steel man what I
Okay.
said so I know you understood it.
So, I mean, it sounds like what you're saying is we have good reasons to believe that there is no unicorn on the moon, therefore we can reasonably infer that there is no unicorn
Right.
on the moon.
I can use my prior knowledge, my past knowledge of understanding how life operates, understanding the context of unicorns, understanding what we've learned about the moon to make a positive claim to say that's less likely the chance that there's a unicorn on the moon. Probably such low probability that I can make the claim that, yeah, there's no unicorn on the moon. Can I say for absolute certainty? No, because I can't say absolute certainty about anything, but I can say the probability is very low.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think that we have a point of agreement then on that point, because I would say that I also agree that I don't think that we can be absolutely certain about anything, but I think that extends to the problem of God.
No, we don't agree because
So-
you haven't given me a reason why the probability of God is very low.
Well, I don't know what the probability of God would be.
Right, so I've given you a reason why the probability of a unicorn on the moon is very low. You haven't given me a reason to say the probability of God is very low, so therefore it's not comparable.
So what would the probability for God be, and how could we determine that?
That's on you if you're claiming he doesn't exist. Now you're throwing the burden back on me.
Okay. I see. Okay. So the fundamental issue here is then you think that I'm claiming that God definitively does not exist.
If you're saying you're
That
atheist,
is-
yes, that is what the definition is. If you're saying you're agnostic, you're saying I don't know, and there's no such thing as an agnostic atheist. Those are contradictory terms.
Okay, so then your definition of atheism does
That's
not
not my
coincide
definition.
with-
That is the Stratford Encyclopedia's definition. I can read it for you if you like. It says, in philosophy, however, the more specifically in philosophy of religion, the term atheism is standardly used to refer to the proposition that God does not exist, or more broadly in the proposition that there are no gods. Thus, to be an atheist on definition, it does not suffice to suspend judgment or whether there is a God, even though that implies the lack of a theistic belief. Instead, one must deny that God exists.
Okay, then we're probably just operating on different definitions then, because when I Google
No, we're
the
not
definition
operating
of
on
atheism, it
definitions. You
just
guys
says-
have invented your own definition. And when you
I'm just
Google the
going off the
definition, you're saying it's
definition
the
of Google
lack
that I
of
Googled.
belief. The Google definition is the lack of belief, which is saying the exact same thing.
Lack of belief is not the same as disbelieving.
Yes, it is.
No, it's an inclusive disjunction.
Okay,
If
do you believe
read the
God
definition,
exists?
It says
Do you believe God exists?
no. No, that's different from disbelieving.
Yes, it is. Do you believe God exists? Yes or no?
I have no reasons to believe that God exists.
No. Yes or no? Do you believe God exists? Yes, no, or I don't know.
No, I don't believe that God exists.
No, you don't. Okay, prove it.
That's an unfalsifiable claim.
You can
So,
you
okay,
can
okay,
give
let
me
me put it this way.
probabilities, right? It's not an unfalsifiable claim. You can actually you can actually do it. You can give a logical syllogism that shows that God is contradictory. That'd be an example of proving that God doesn't exist.
Sure, and you can do that for like a more refined definition of God. I mean, that's why I think that Christianity
You
specifically
can give a
do that,
syllogism
because
or
they're
inductive
contradictory
reasoning to
claims.
give for naturalism too. Naturalism would also presuppose that God does not exist.
Naturalism presupposes that.
So if you
Wait,
gave an argument for
naturalism presupposes
naturalism that there is
doesn't
only the natural world, for example, that would conclude that God does not exist.
Well, yeah, naturalism by definition is just that there is only what is natural and there is no supernatural. But I
Well,
don't see how that.
Right, I'm just saying you can make a positive case for an atheism as well. That like cause and effects is the only stance. There's lots of ways that you could do it, but just simply saying it's an unfalsifiable claim and throwing it back on people is just arrogant. Like that's just the atheist standpoint is arrogance, saying like I'm right until you all prove me wrong, and then yelling at people saying that they're doing the same thing.
I cannot be right if I'm not making a claim.
You are making a claim. Does God exist?
I don't know.
That's agnosticism. Does it say that there's no good reason to be agnostic?
Okay, then I could be agnostic atheist.
That's a contradictory term.
No, it's an actual term. Agnostic atheism is a thing. You're saying that
Those are
there's no such thing as
contradictory
agnostic
terms.
atheist?
Can you show me an academic source that says agnostic atheist is an actual thing?
Yes, agnostic is an adjective.
Show me an academic source in philosophy.
It's an adjective.
That's not an academic source, right? That's an appeal to your own understanding. So again, what does the word does
If you Google it, you'll
atheist
find that it's an
atheist hold on. Atheist is the claim that there is no God. Agnostic is the claim that I don't know. Can you both don't know and not know at the same time?
Can you? I'm sorry. This is my fault. Can you repeat that again?
Right. Agnosticism says you cannot know or it cannot be known. That's the definition of agnosticism. Atheism says that they lack the belief that there is a God. There is no God, right? When you ask that question. Can you both not know and know that there isn't at the same time?
So, no, to answer your question.
So then they're contradictory.
There's a difference between saying there is no God and I believe there is no God. I think that's where we're getting caught up.
Do you believe 2 + 2 = 4?
Yes.
So why are you using this word belief?
Because you're asking me if I believe in a God.
Yeah, what does this word believe? What weight is this word belief carrying?
Confidence, justifiable reasons for understanding something is true.
Okay, cool. So when you say I believe or don't believe, you're kind of using it as a way to say I don't have to give the answer. But when I say, do you believe 2 + 2 = 4? You just say yes, there's no problem. Can you give sufficient reason why 2 + 2 = 4? Probably because of the axioms they all agree on. Yeah, you'd absolutely say yes to that. So again, what is your positive claim that there is no God? If you're going to say you're agnostic, that's fine. But you can't say agnostic atheist because that's contradictory.
Okay, so you're going to say, what is my positive claim that there is no God? I'm going to say, I don't make such a claim. You're going to say, therefore I'm not atheist, I'm agnostic. So if we're going to go in that kind of loop, then I will concede that I'm agnostic. Do you have an issue with agnosticism? If not, then I think that
no, I already agree that agnosticism is fine. I've said that a million times. It's the atheist position I have an issue with.
Okay, so then I think fundamentally, then the only difference that we have is just the definition of atheism, which I think is why this.
Well, not if you're walking around, yelling at Christians that there is no God.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying if they're doing that, right, then they actually have some sort of burden of proof.
I agree.
But if you're simply saying I don't know if there's a God, that's fine.
Okay. Well, well, I guess we agree on that. I mean, I would disagree on our definitions of atheism. I think that, or
so you're disagreeing with the academic sources.
Well, when I Google the definition of atheism, it clearly says a disbelief or lack of belief, and lack of belief.
What does the word belief mean?
Having being convinced of something.
Right, so you're convinced 2 + 2 = 4, so therefore you believe that 2 + 2 = 4?
Yeah, that's a way of putting it.
Okay. Do you believe God exists?
I am not convinced that God exists. Therefore I do not believe that God exists. But
okay, so then you're saying God doesn't exist. Okay, let me just ask you. Oh my God, I feel like we just did this like 2 minutes ago. Do you believe aliens exist?
Do I believe aliens exist?
Mm-hmm.
I think I think it's likely.
So you are not saying no, and you're not saying yes. You're saying it's likely, taking an agnostic position.
But it's likely.
Okay, what evidence do you have of aliens?
I don't have any evidence of aliens. Well, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, we have evidence that all of the chemical ingredients for life are like some of the most abundant throughout the universe.
But you don't have evidence for aliens.
I would say that counts as evidence for aliens, not definitive
that's evidence. That's evidence towards the possibility of life. That's not evidence for aliens, is it?
Sure.
Yeah, so you have no evidence for aliens. You're not making a claim that there is no aliens, or I lack the belief in aliens, are you?
True. I'm just saying that it's likely, and there's evidence for it being likely. But I would say, like you said, I would take an agnostic position and say I don't know.
Why is it likely?
Because some of the most common elements in the universe are comprised of that which we know create life on Earth.
So why can't there just be God out there? From the same concept, that the most common elements for life are out there. So there's just this maximal being that's out there. Why can't you just say the same argument?
That's a non sequitur.
How's it a non sequitur?
I've given reasons for the likelihood of aliens. That's not me saying that aliens exist.
You're just saying that there's the elements of life in the universe, so therefore there's likely to be aliens, right? I can just simply say, well, there's likelihood to life in the universe, so there's likely to be God.
How do you get from life to God?
Is God dead? Or inanimate?
I don't know. I don't have a God claim.
Don't be a douche.
I don't understand how that's. I don't claim that there is a God, and I don't claim that there is no God. I
What,
claim that
bro?
I don't know.
When people talk about God, are they talking about an inanimate rock?
No, of course not.
So then, when I ask you, is it inanimate, and you said I don't know, how are you not being a douche?
I just don't know how you're getting from human life.
Answer the
to
question.
God. This is a loaded question. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to?
No
just call
shit, it's a
call
loaded
myself a douche?
question.
Okay, if you want me to call myself a douche, then I'll call myself a douche. I don't
Okay,
think
so
that's a douchey question.
what
I'm
do you
trying to
mean?
engage honestly.
You know when people are talking about God, they're not talking about an inanimate object that doesn't have life.
Okay, then if that was your, I must have missed that. Then I'll apologize if that's maybe I just misheard. So your original question was
That's what I'm saying is that this is what atheists do. They just simply just I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, but you need to prove it, right? And then you
I need to
just
prove that I don't know.
no. You say I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, but you need to prove it. I'm not saying you're saying that. You're making the claim that we need to prove it.
Yeah, you're claiming that God exists. If I don't know something, and you're
Right,
claiming
but you
otherwise,
don't hold that same standard for things like aliens or abiogenesis.
in what kind of way?
Because again, you have no evidence for aliens, yet you claim an agnosticism towards it.
Yeah, that's not problematic.
You have
If
no
I don't have
you have no
aliens, then I
evidence
don't
for
know.
God. You claim we have evidence for God, but you say we have no evidence for God, and you don't claim an agnosticism towards that.
Because I'm not convinced that it's sound evidence. What evidence are you talking about?
Did you not hear it? Just repeat what I said.
If I don't have evidence for God, then then why am
No,
I
the whole thing.
agnostic?
What was the analogy that I used?
You just said if I don't have evidence for God, then why would I claim agnosticism towards God?
What was the analogy I used?
What, with aliens?
Yes.
If I don't have evidence for aliens,
Hold on
then
just
why
one
would
second.
Thought you could use a 4-second break.
Thank you, Modern Brain. Appreciate you. All right, bro, go ahead.
If I don't have evidence for aliens, then why would I claim agnosticism towards aliens?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that directly follows why I should claim agnosticism towards aliens. If I don't have sufficient reason to know something, then the best position to take via Occam's razor is I don't know.
Then why don't you do the same thing with God?
I do.
Well, then you're not an atheist, are you?
He didn't say. He said he was agnostic.
Yeah, I conceded this earlier. I said this is a definitional issue. If you have no problem with agnosticism, then under that definition, I mean, I would say that's atheism is a subset of agnosticism.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's
If
not.
I don't believe, so agnosticism.
Like I don't
not
get.
having
See,
knowledge of.
here's why I push back into it is because like you say you concede it, but then you still argue that atheism is this position that it's not.
So if agnosticism is not having knowledge of, and atheism is not having knowledge of God, atheism is a subset of agnosticism, which I would claim is a more specific refinery of agnosticism, which is why I would claim that I'm an atheist.
You're just.
I don't see how that's problematic.
You're just using atheism synonymous with agnosticism.
I'm not. It's a subset of it. I just showed that it was a subset. So I have no knowledge of God.
You haven't given me any reason to take your definition.
I don't know how to respond to that. I mean, this is what
You're just
okay,
saying you're
read
just
me-
using it synonymously with agnosticism and saying that it's just a subset. Why should I take that definition? How is it a subset? Atheism, according to the definitions I gave, and the definition you use, is the claim that there is no God, or you do not believe there's a God. And then when you use the word belief, you're using
is
as
the key
good
word.
reason to hold that.
Yes, or is the operative word there, that there is no God, or I do not believe there is a God. Do you agree that those?
What
are
is
two
the
different
fucking
statements?
difference between the two?
If there was no difference, why is there an or statement? Why wouldn't you just use one or the other?
I'm just using the word you're saying. Now give me the difference.
The difference is one is asserting a truth that there is no God. The other one is saying I just don't believe there is a God, which indicates no truth claim at all.
Really? So if I say 2 + 2 is 4, I'm not making a truth claim? Or I believe 2 + 2 is 4, I'm not making a truth claim?
If you believe 2 + 2 is 4,
Mm-hmm.
then by your definition of believe, you either are saying that 2 + 2 is 4, that you have knowledge of it, or that you just believe that 2 + 2 is 4, which does not imply knowledge of it.
So belief, anytime anybody says belief, it has nothing to do with knowledge.
that is one part of the or statement. So by your definition of belief, you're saying by saying I do not believe in God, you're saying that means that either I'm claiming there is no God, that I know there is no God, or that I just don't believe in God. And I'm saying it's the latter.
Okay, if you say you don't believe there's a car in your driveway, are you going to walk outside and expect to see a car?
No.
So are you making the claim that there's a car in or not in your driveway?
I'm making the claim that I wouldn't. So if I don't believe there's a car in my driveway, that has no indication of whether or not there actually is a car in my driveway. I'm just not convinced
That's
that there is.
perfectly fine.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with God.
Are you saying, like if you say there's no car in your driveway, or say I don't believe there's a car in my driveway, whatever freaking words you want to use, say I don't believe there's a car in my driveway.
Sure.
You're expecting there to be no car in your driveway when you go outside, right?
I'm expecting it, but I'm not saying there absolutely cannot be a car in my
Not talking
driveway.
about absolutes.
There absolutely
No,
is.
there is no absolutes. Absolutes don't exist, only with Sith. All right? So.
True.
You don't expect there to be a car in a driveway. Now, would you have reason to believe there's no car in your driveway, or is it arbitrary and ad hoc?
I mean, if we're talking about like, I feel like some context might be needed. If I have reasons to believe there is no car in my driveway, then I would not expect to see a car in my driveway. But the reasons that I have that lead me to that conclusion, I'm not going to claim like knowledge of. That if I walk outside and I actually do in fact see a car in my driveway,
If somebody has
I'm not
to
going
give a
say, "Oh,
30
I've been-"
second, 30, 35 second, 45 second answer to a very simple question, you know they're making shit up. Just answer the question directly. Would there be good reasons to believe that there's no car in your driveway?
Yes, sure. In
Yeah,
this
most
case,
likely,
sure.
right? So belief is based off reasoning, yeah? It's not just based off of myth or arbitrary reasons?
Yes.
Okay, so what's your reasoning for atheism?
Okay. So okay, I see where you're getting at. So my reason for not believing in God, is that what you're asking? Okay, so I mean, my reason for not believing in God is there is no evidence that has convinced me of a God. Just like for my reasons for not believing that there's a car in my driveway, is that there are no reasons that have convinced me that there's a car in my driveway.
Okay, phenomenal. Great. So why don't you hold to that same standard with aliens or abiogenesis?
I do.
What's the standard or reasons to believe in abiogenesis?
Well, I'm not a scientist, so I can't really. I would have to hold. I would be forced to hold an agnostic position to that because I'm not a scientist. I don't know how to investigate that far into the past, and I don't have that understanding of chemistry and biology.
I kicked him. At that point, he just literally just said, I went agnostic on that situation. After that whole time for atheism. Oh my God. This is atheism, guys. This is your brain on atheism. Plus, I had to kick him because I have to end the live. I had to end it 15 minutes ago. Bro, another loss for me, bro. Nothing but W's for me. You guys can't even give a coherent standard definition. I will go down swinging on this ground. I don't care if I'm outnumbered 7,000 to 1. If there's 7,000 of you, you're all, and I believe this nonsense, you're all idiots. Every one of you. All of you. I'll count you. 1 idiot, 2 idiot, 3 idiot, 4 idiot, 5 idiot, 6 idiot, 7 idiot, 8 idiot, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. The inconsistency is maddening. 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 But we do have to call it. That's it. That's it for today's live. We have to shut it down. See, look at her. Sean Bessity came in with $2. Says, does she affirm the Islamic good of child marriage? I don't think she did. I don't know who you're talking about. Jason says,
The lady
$2.
that just went on and on and on about how you can't know anything.
All the feels.
We all just need to be happy.
Style and rail woodworking. This type of feelings logic leads to child transgenderism. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Modern Brain came in with $20. Says, thought you could just, oh yeah, I remember that. Thank you. And then Nick Martin came in with $2. Says, confidence from the Latin confined with faith. And then right off that, Tommy Thompson came in with 50 big ones right away and just says, good job. Thank you, Tommy Thompson.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, great name, Tommy Thompson.
That is a great name.
Is that your
Sounds
actual
like
name?
a fighter name.
Tommy Thompson. It does sound like a fighter walkout name. 110%. 110%. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, atheism is defined as whatever you want it to mean, as long as you don't have to give like a defense or stance for it. Atheism is the most ridiculous stance I've ever heard in my life, bro. And I was an atheist for 30 years. 30 years. You know why I was an atheist? Didn't research or
'Cause you were
study
dumb.
anything. Nothing. I didn't look into anything. I just assumed there was no God. Just made that assumption. There's no reason for it. When I actually started looking into it, it's like, bro, it's nonsense. Agnosticism I can respect. I respect agnosticism. Agnostic comes in and is like, yo, I don't know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. I can respect that. I can even respect certain types of anti-theists who would say, well, okay, there might be a God, but it's not the Christian God. And here's the reasons why, the logical problem of the Trinity. I can respect that because you have a valid reason. You have a valid case. You have an inductive or deductive argument to say, hey, the Christian God is false because of X, Y, and Z, or the all-loving God is false because I don't see lovingness in the universe. I can respect that. I disagree with it, but I can respect it. But the dude that comes in and says, atheism, there is no God, none, until you show me one, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. You got to give a good case for the reason why. Just like I can give a good case why it's most likely not unicorns, most likely not fairies, most likely not these things. And then people are going to go, well, it's just an invisible fairy that you can't see with the omni properties. Well, then you're just explaining God. Just giving it a different name. Atheism is smug as AF, yeah. That was brutal. That was brutal. And atheism is also weird to me because like there are atheist groups out there and it's like, hey guys, let's all get together and talk about how much we don't believe in something. Just imagine if there was anti-golf groups, like groups that got together to talk about how much they hate golf. Like, oh my God, let's all get together and talk about the problems of golf and how we need to remove golf from society. You're so smug saying atheists are so smug. I didn't say I wasn't smug. Listen, I'm the kettle calling the pot black, bro. I'm arrogant douchebag on the internet. No denying that. But that doesn't change the fact that y'all are too. Doesn't change the fact at all. I can be a smug, arrogant douchebag calling you a smug, arrogant douchebag. That doesn't mean you're not a smug, arrogant douchebag, does it? Does it? Doesn't logically follow. Golf is mid though. I'll start the club. So why is it bad that atheists are smug then? Did I make an affirmative claim that they was or wasn't bad? I just said they are. If you're associating with badness, that's on you. If you take pride in your smugness, I can at least respect that. Feels like I'm sinning right now. Yeah, apparently, show me the Bible verse where it says saying things that causes people's feelings to be a little bit uncomfortable is a sin. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead. Because as I recall, what did Elijah do with the prophets of Baal? Where's your God? Is he taking a shit? That's literally what Elijah did. Where is he?
You guys would have.
He's got no power. Can't do nothing. Your God sucks. That's what Elijah did. What did Paul do? Paul did the same thing. Paul literally says to people, yo, I'd rather they cut their own junk off than say the things that they're doing. Elijah was based. Elijah was based. Arrogant in yourself. Yeah, I'm not arrogant in myself, bro. Listen, I don't believe in me at all. I believe in God. That's why I'm arrogant, bro. I have arrogance in the Lord. That's who I got. That's who I got. I got all my pride's in him, bro. All my pride is in him. Because you guys ain't got shit. Atheism ain't got shit. Muslim ain't got shit. None of these guys have nothing. You know who's got it? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is the only one who came down to earth incarnate. Showed himself. I don't see no empty tombs from any of these other religions. I don't see any reason to believe anything else outside of Christianity, bro. My arrogance doesn't come from me. My arrogance comes from him. Because he's the one. All right, let's do a prayer. Then let's go. Our Father is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for the blessings. I ask that you guide us into truth. That's all that we seek. Help us understand the reality of who you are, whether it's us or those who come against us. If we're wrong, correct us. If I'm wrong, correct me. Put me back on the right path. But Lord, again, if they come against us and they're wrong, correct them. You are righteous in everything you do. Guide us into the knowledge of who you are. Walk with us. Give us grace. Give us all opportunities to share the gospel and be more Christ-like and operate in a way that's good and edifying in your eyes. Put us in good churches and communities and forgive us of our sins. Be patient with us and give us grace. In the name of Jesus. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, guys, we're going to hang out on YouTube for the next 15 or 20 minutes. Before we do that, Patreon plug. Head over to my Patreon at Big John Steele if you guys want to support the channel. We're offering a daily Bible study on the Knights Templar package. You also get access to our Tuesday, Thursday hangout sessions on there too, which reminds me, we will not be live tomorrow. I have a meeting I got to get to, so we're going to be doing that meeting. We might be live a little bit later, depending how early it ends. But I'll make it up to you guys somehow. And we're live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for sure, outside of God-given circumstances. And then most Tuesdays and Thursdays if we can. And yeah, you'll have access to those, the Bible study, and at least one exclusive video a month. Profiting off religion. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, isn't there a whole bunch of groups out there that profit off of atheism? Like, isn't there like a whole bunch of people that made their living off of atheism? I mean, they're making their living off damning souls. I'm trying to make my living off saving them. Whoops. My bad. All right, guys, come hang out on YouTube if you have any more questions. We're going to end on TikTok. Yeah, God bless. God bless. Just so you know, guys know, most of the stuff I don't actually believe when I say it. Not the Christian stuff, but like the arrogant stuff and all that, guys. It's just like, why fight them? They're going to say it no matter what. So just let them believe what they want to believe. Just let them believe what they want to believe. Islam is easily debunked. A lot of bot boys in the chat. What?
Bots.
We don't have any bots in the chat.
I think they're saying for the other side.
Jordan Peterson, have it your way. Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Why fight them? If you're arrogant, listen, you are what people perceive you as. If they perceive you as arrogant, you're arrogant. Why fight them? Why argue with them?
Major John. That's what John told me when he put me in the basement, that he's saving my soul.
Super based, yeah. Threw him in the basement. I'm saving your soul, bro. Saving your soul. Oh, NPCs, yeah, bro. God is the Father. God is the Son. God is the Spirit. The Holy Spirit, because God is holy. Amen. Will I be willing to debate an atheist on their channel? Depends. Most of the time, no. Mainly because the way the atheists debate, if I'm going to do a proper debate with a proper, well-established atheist, I want to do it on a neutral platform, in a place where neither one of us have control to steamroll the other person, where I can't steamroll them, because sometimes I do that, and they can't steamroll me. And that could be a problem, because if you just get somebody who has power over a mute button or the steamroll button or just over talks, then all of a sudden they just win because they did Gish Gallop. So if I'm going to do like a proper debate with a proper atheist, I'd want to do it on a neutral platform where we have like intros, outros, a moderator, those types of things to make sure that we all get our points across. All gets our points across. But no, I'm planning on doing a live here where I go debate people on their channels, where I just go onto their TikToks. I was thinking about doing that here soon. But I can't do it like major platforms because I just end up sitting in the queue. Because like I tried to do it a few on my own time and I just sat there for an hour. So we'd have to do it like with people who are not known. And that just doesn't seem fair to me. So it just feels dirty. Because I remember like when I started off, people were like, no one would come onto my channel and like try to record it and get me in certain ways. I don't want to do that to someone else. How often I do these streams? Mostly like 5 days a week. What are my thoughts on swearing? People ask me that every day. I don't think swearing is sinful. I try my best not to do it because it makes people uncomfortable. Modern day debate, we've been talking to them, but yeah. I had a few debates lined up and they kind of fell through due to mistakes on my end and the mistakes on their end on different ones. So do it undercover. Well, I wouldn't be undercover because I would be live on this platform doing it with them, right? And I don't want to just try to catch people that are just hanging out. But again, they are hanging out on a platform that is public and meant for debate. So yeah, I don't know. At least here, like when people come up here, they know what they're getting into. So I'm okay with it here because like they've been watching usually for like a half hour, an hour. They know who I am and how I behave. So you know what you're coming up and you're getting into when you come up. When's the Inspiring Philosophy video with me? I'm not doing an Inspiring Philosophy video. Andrew Wilson really gets called on what? What exactly?
I think swearing.
Swearing? Lots of people call on him all the time. He just doesn't care.
Well, and to be fair, like he's so volatile that I think most of his audience would be fine with that.
Yeah, that's kind of expected with Wilson. And he's not an apologist. That's another thing. He's a political commentator. So he's a Christian who just so happens to be a political commentator. Or sorry, he's a political commentator that just so happens to be a Christian. He's not an apologist. I'm an apologist. That's different. Oh, joining the live. Yeah. Yeah, I don't care if Andrew does it. I'm just saying me. Like I know when I first started, people did it to me, and it made me feel bad. And so I don't really want to put that on other people too. I don't want to make people feel bad just for the sake of making them feel bad. But I do really enjoy watching his TikTok raids or whatever he calls them. What's my take on water baptism? I've heard it is mandatory. Yep. Jesus said do it. It's a mandatory thing. All right, folks. I love you all, especially you. You're my favorite. Listen. I know we got a lot of people watching right now, but you are my favorite. Not the other guy. Not the other person. It's you specifically. You are my favorite one out of all the people watching. And you know why. I appreciate you. All right, guys. We will see you all on Wednesday.